Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained. Perhaps few would have envisioned in 1984 that the Federation's gamble with WrestleMania would 10 years later now be firmly cemented as an annual event and not simply a one-off special it was initially expected to be. Hell, had it not worked, the WWF would have likely turned belly up come 1985. 10 years in the making, a tagline that signalled the return to Madison Square Garden, the arena where WrestleMania was birthed. Whilst the likes of Hogan and Andre were no longer with the company, the show looked to cement the man who would lead the Federation forward, a man that would be the face of the new generation. The main event of the night would see a role reversal from the WrestleMania that preceded it, as Yokozuna looked to defend the WWF title against Bret Hitman Hart. This would not be the only match on the card for either man, which largely reflected the lack of depth in the promotion at the time. Elsewhere, we would witness the WrestleMania swan song of the former WWF champion Macho Man Randy Savage, who faced Crush in the first Falls Count Anywhere match in Federation history. Co-winner of the 1994 Royal Rumble, Lex Luger would look to unseat the monstrous Yokozuna in the latter's first match of the night, but where this affair lacked in quality, it more than made up for elsewhere on the card. In the opening match of the night, Bret Hart went one-on-one with Owen Hart, the Hitman versus the Rocket, brother against brother. This match is still widely revered and considered by many to be the greatest opening match in WWF pay-per-view history. If that wasn't enough, in the co-main event slot of the evening, Shawn Michaels faced Razor Ramon in a ladder match for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship. Whilst the ladder match was not the first of its kind, with the WWF having previously used the concept for Shawn and Bret in '92, and Stampede Wrestling having used it much earlier than that, it was the first time that it was used in such a high-profile setting. For as great as the ladder match was, the overrun cost the 10-man tag team match that was initially scheduled to follow, and whilst the fans were treated to one of the best matches of all time to this point, a number of WrestleMania debutantes missed out. For as abject and miserable as WrestleMania 9 was the year prior, WrestleMania 10, whilst not perfect, was a marked improvement, and with the show closing scene marking the dawn of a new era in the company, things looked promising. But then again, most false dawns do. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 28 of the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast alongside your hosts Scott and Holly.
Hello.
How you doing, Holly?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, alright. So you've got a hair mask in.
Yes.
Is that what I heard you
We
describe
are
to my missus?
slicked back today.
And what exactly does a hair mask do exactly?
Repairs, nourishes.
Nourishes.
Makes it look like I've got really dirty hair, which I have.
That doesn't look like you've got dirty hair.
Just gone for the slicked back look today.
Okay, fair enough. It's very sleek indeed.
Thank you.
And today we are back on the March Through The Mania series.
Aren't we?
You enjoying the series so far?
It's been a wave.
It's peaking and troughing.
It's very much so peaking and troughing.
Sometimes in the same show.
It's troughing and troughing.
Sometimes, yeah, definitely. There have been a few shows that have just been one big trough. But, yeah, episode number 10. Well, not episode number 10, but WrestleMania number 10. And I feel like, well, I don't want to say we're a quarter of the way through it because it makes it sound like we've done fuck all. But we will be a quarter of the way through it. Although actually, by the time we get through it, we will have missed another WrestleMania, and they're two-nighters as well.
Uh-huh.
And wow, we're going to be doing this one for a while, aren't we?
Forever.
But it'll be forever covering fucking WrestleMania. But before we go into the show, as customary, we usually cover anything that's caught our eye in the world of wrestling. And I could not get you to shut up about the stuff that you've seen this week.
Such a liar.
Has anything caught your eye?
I've been a busy girl this week, so I'll be honest, WrestleMania was the prime focus.
I sent you something though, a reel.
You did, yes.
You want me to cover that?
I'd love you to cover it.
She wants me to cover it. Okay, so as you may have noticed, in some of the episodes we've put up, we've had the odd occasional appearance or cameo, quite literally, from some wrestlers from the past and present. And one that we've had, which we haven't used in the show yet. We've got a few of those lined up, so I'm saving those. was from Jimmy Jacobs. So Ring of Honor veteran. I believe he was a creative writer on WWE before going to AEW. Do you know why he got booted out of WWE?
I do not.
It's because he took a picture with, I think it was the Elite, when they're in AEW, and WWE went, nope.
Really?
Yeah, it's as petty as that. Again, this was under the old regime, so I don't know if that would have happened now. Maybe it would have.
Who knows?
But so he's now working at AEW, and he made his in-ring return to Ring of Honor.
Yes.
And he looked genuinely quite pumped.
Yeah.
And I think he was one of the many that stole a piece of your heart, was he not?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he oh, yeah.
We'll cover... so the point of what I'm doing in these cameos is I'm always asking the men and women specifically about a particular match I want them to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And usually if you get them on a topic of something that they're interested in, you can tell they're interested in it based on the way they react. There's some I've got that you don't even know about yet. So saving them for a later date. One of them obviously I surprised you with already was Jessie, but I've got another one in my back pocket which I'm waiting for a particular show to unleash on you. That sounded more threatening again than I intended. But we've got a few of the modern day guys as well, which I'm looking forward to featuring in the show, but also because it will get us to go outside of the comfort zone of WWE and WCW. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a comfort zone for you yet, but at least you're familiar with bits and pieces of it. But some of the stuff we've got will take us to TNA, to Ring of Honor. I think that's about it, to be fair, so far. But, you know, the door is open for us to go down there. And as well as seeing the Jimmy Jacobs thing, it's more of a question that I wanted to ask you because I don't know if I like it. So with the new bloodline, without Reigns at the head of it, I don't like Solo Sikoa wearing suits.
It is strange.
You wrestle bare feet. Why are you wearing a suit out of it?
Yeah, I honestly don't get that.
And the suit he had on, like the blood red with a black shirt, it wasn't a bad look, to be fair, but it just didn't seem to fit him.
His character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who they should have potentially gone with, and maybe, you know, my opinion might change down the line, but looking at it now, I just thought, no.
Doesn't do it for
I'm
you.
not feeling it.
No.
But have you seen the one I'm talking about?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I mean, fine with Tamatonga being there and his brother, Tangaloa, fine, but I don't know.
Okay.
I'm waiting I want Jacob Fatu in there.
Yeah.
Because he is a beast.
Do you think it's a coming?
Well, I think they might be changing Sikoa this way because they know that Fatu is a better Solo Sikoa than Solo Sikoa was.
Oh.
Because Fatu, not saying Sikoa doesn't look like a tough guy, but Fatu can back it up a bit more, I think. So maybe that they've taken him away from that role, so they've opened it up for Fatu, which would make sense.
Little cheeky prediction from you there. Okay.
Also, they've kind of, not they've teased, but I've seen people do promo images on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Of what could potentially happen at War Games, at Survivor Series, if they do another War Games.
Right.
Old Bloodline versus New Bloodline. So the New Bloodline being Solo Sikoa, Tangaloa, Tamatonga, and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
And then having Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And then I think that for a fourth one they put another one of the relatives in who isn't well known, so I don't think that would work, but fuck it, throw Sami Zayn in there.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'd watch it.
I mean, I would watch it.
It depends on obviously the build. I mean, what happened? You don't look as enthused as...
I don't know if it...
Randy Orton guest ref? Are you there now? You on board?
What is there? I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I would watch it and I'd probably be invested, but I'd just be invested behind mid-card Jay, who I'd be backing, I'll be honest.
At least you got his right name. We can call him Main Event Jay when he gets the French crowd reaction, because that was good. That was one of the better entrances I've seen.
The only thing I did see, actually, if we're talking about that, was the pictures that they're all on Instagram, so I don't know. Is the obviously he's not here anymore, but the Wyatt extended effectively like that thing that might happen, and I've seen like Dexter Lumis has started blocking his face out on Instagram and pictures now. Obviously, there's rumblings of your girl Bliss coming back at some point. I saw a photo where they put Nikki Cross in there as well, and I thought actually that would work.
Mm-hmm.
And
she's got a history
Eric
with
Rowan.
Yep. So Redbeard,
and obviously Bo Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's someone else I'm
Joe
forgetting.
Gacy from NXT.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought actually.
So the Wyatt Six.
You know what? I'm all right with it.
I'd be interested to see it, but my concern would be that they would butcher it like they did with Sanity on the main roster, which was Nikki Cross, Killian Dane, Eric Young, and Alexander Wolf, who's now one half the Progress Tag Team Champions alongside Killian Dane as Sanity, I think.
Yes.
I don't believe they're appearing on the show we're seeing tomorrow,
so.
but that would be my concern. I'm all for it, but
it's more intrigue.
Yeah, fair.
If I'm honest. And also Dexter Lumis. Yeah, fine.
What is it about his dirty little pedo face?
I don't know. I think it's because he doesn't speak, which is great, but he looks imposing. He also does look like he's troubled.
Yes.
Which we know.
Piercing eyes.
We know is what I go for.
Yeah. If you're a damaged bird, Holly is interested.
I'll try and repair you.
Holly's got the pipette out to feed you, as it were. Didn't think I'd be referencing a pipette on the show. There you go.
No.
Word of the day so far. So without any further ado, should we dive right into the meat and potatoes of this?
Absolutely.
And they're not roast potatoes because I'm going to break
Are you going to out me?
Yeah, of course I am.
Oh, good.
Holly doesn't like roast potatoes. Comments. Discuss.
I hate them.
How do you hate them?
I know it's weird. I get a lot of hate for it from everyone I know.
But I'm not fussed about them, fine, but you just said hate.
I really don't like them. If someone made them for me in a dinner, would I be polite and eat them? Absolutely.
Don't tell me that.
If they're in a buffet.
A buffet?
A buffet.
A Phoebe buffet?
Am I eating them? Hell no. Do I have them with my Christmas dinner? No.
Again, comments.
Yeah, sorry, I'm aware.
That's
Drop me right down that ladder.
I was going to say your fanboys might be turning off the Holly Express on this one. But again, to the meat and veg and gravy.
Yeah, sure.
Then fine. Yorkies? Oh, you don't like Yorkies? No, we'll leave that one.
Let's keep going.
We'll have to leave that one. So, WrestleMania 10, the 20th of March 1994, back in Madison Square Garden, New York. Attendance on the night, 18,065 for a buy rate of 420,000. Tagline of the evening, 10 years in the making. Well, I guess, yeah. How did you feel about them going back to Madison Square Garden?
Fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, fine with it.
Because it's obviously a smaller venue. It's not a small venue, but it's smaller than some of the stadiums that they've done over, like, WrestleMania 6, your WrestleMania 3.
Sometimes it looks a bit better. If it's a smaller venue, it looks like there's more people.
No.
Sometimes.
But if it's, like, packed, like we saw the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah, but would they still have been able to pack that out?
At this point, no.
Then makes sense.
Not a chance. Yes, but you didn't have the side-by-side comparison was my point. But fair enough. I always wanted them to keep going back to Madison Square Garden every 10 years. And they did for 20 as well. They went back to Madison Square Garden, but after that it was basically...
I suppose it was so massive then after then as well, you just wouldn't be able to make money. You wouldn't get the return of the money that it costs to make it, I suppose, would you?
No, I'm trying to think when they started doing bigger stadium shows, because 22 is a big arena, but I don't know if it was a stadium, but 23 for onwards then, and we've been in that trend ever since, and it makes sense, because if you can pack it out, you can get the most money off it, so perfectly makes sense. So Holly, we've made it to our 10th WrestleMania on the journey. A lot has happened along the way. You've been gifted with the likes of Randy Savage, Jesse Ventura and Lord Al Hayes. And now in 1994, the landscape is starting to look very different from where we first started. And then I've kind of asked you this already, but have you been enjoying, like genuinely, have you been enjoying the March Through the Manias? I know you said it's been up and down, so has it been more ups than downs, or is it an even split?
I'd say probably. There's probably been more, if I think about the more individual matches as a whole, rather than the Manias themselves, I think it's been more ups than downs. There have been some that have been a slog to get through.
For sure.
And there will be more to come that are a slog for me probably to get to. Probably because of the length more than anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm happy with the length of them at the minute. But I know, especially when we get to the 2-dayers, I know that my attention span is piss poor. So it'll be a slog.
If you break it up into enough sections, and the matches, like the content of the matches, should be more engaging for you.
Yes.
God help my notes. I'm doing 20 pages.
They'll be 5-hour episodes.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So the show opens with the emblazoned WrestleMania 10 logo front and centre of the screen as a swirling vortex shaded like the night sky slowly rotates as a backdrop. The logo distorts like ripples on a pond as it transitions to images from the original WrestleMania. Madison Square Garden, Liberace, Andre slamming Stud, Muhammad Ali, Wendy Richter and Cyndi Lauper, Billy Martin, and finally Hogan and Mr. T with their arms raised in victory. So now they're really starting to play up to the history of WrestleMania.
Oh, aren't they just?
Oh, they revisit, they go to this well to drinketh many a time throughout the course of this show. The footage stutters before dissolving to a night sky backdrop once more as the WrestleMania 10 logo spins onto screen and we get very funky mid-90s music. You ready for the talk show to begin, Holly,
Yes.
I assume? We see images of Bret Hart and Lex Luger looking into the middle distance stoically before Yokozuna is shown staring dead into the heart of the lens. A golden coin then spins and WrestleMania 10 logo returns to the centre of the screen. To the live arena we go, and Vince McMahon sounds like he's been gargling on broken glass as he welcomes us to New York City! Madison Square Garden, and finally, WrestleMania 10. We see Vince. Are you ready for Vince on commentary?
Oh, God, no.
Because we've had him on Raw.
Yes, he jabbered on, and then literally 5 minutes in, I went, oh, he's staying for the whole thing.
You bet your sweet ass he's staying for the whole
Which
thing.
to me meant, cool, not one person is going to mention a single fucking move through this whole show. It's all on me.
Hey!
In my brain.
Hey, we got Jerry Lawler.
King does mention one or two, but...
He has a decent night, you know, Lawler,
He actually does, but I honestly had that fear in my head going, brilliant, this is going to rely solely on my brain, my memory and my knowledge here to write down my notes.
Well, anytime I come up with the name of the move, and I want to know what you've put it down as if you haven't got that. We see Vince stood in the middle of the ring in the same get-up he wore on the very first episode of Raw. And to sing America the Beautiful, we have Johnny B. Bad. Sorry, correction, Little Richard, aka the original bad boy of rock and roll, as Vince tells us.
Mm.
Richard appears to be wearing a Ric Flair robe that has been transformed into a suit jacket, and then I hear a noise that is just surreal. The man is MJing on America the Beautiful.
Sorry.
That's just what he does, though.
Honestly, I watched this.
It
was 5 minutes in, and I literally think I texted you, and I went,
You did.
What the fuck is
It
this?
was America.
It
every
was
so-
so
oh.
weird. So weird. Oh.
So after that noise, as usual, we'll see the standard American vistas as the performance goes on. Little Richard really starts getting into it as the choir get involved now, and I feel like we're 1 second away from a minister expelling Satan from the body of a worshipper. Did you feel like it was heading that way?
I just couldn't. My notes literally say, I don't even know what to say. But also, I don't think he was singing live. I think he was also miming.
I'll be honest, parts of it did not sound good.
I mean, no, it didn't, but it's the only thing I picked up on. I thought, oh, this might be the first mimed anthem we've had.
I thought there was a bit, to be fair, where it looked like he was doing that, but then I convinced myself it wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I don't care.
Absolutely not.
But
I was just ready for it to be done.
Oh, quite. The whole show, in fact, at this point. I was done after this.
It
We
did make me
peaked.
nervous,
Yes.
I'll be honest. This is how you're starting it.
Hold the phone. As we pan the crowd, I see a fan in a Shawn Michaels jacket, and I realise how I would look in it, but I want it, and I want it now.
Oh.
I saw a Hitman one that they had at WrestleMania Access, and I got giddy at the thought of getting that too. Like it was...
Oh, is it
I
good?
would look a twat, but I want to look a twat.
Would you just casually wear it around the house?
Yeah, I don't think I could go outside in it. I'll be honest. But yeah. Vince remarks that this is a stirring rendition of America the Beautiful, and Holly, did you notice we didn't get any singing at the start of Mania 9?
Oh, did we not?
No. It was only after I did the show with you, and I went, do you know what I didn't write down?
The
And I went,
only one.
because they did all the dramatic entrances for like Heenan and Savage and
God,
Cleopatra,
yeah,
and
of course.
so no, we didn't get anything.
Got rid of the singing, brought in a camel.
Didn't miss it.
No, but that's probably because you had the comedy effect of Heenan on a camel.
Even though he wasn't in the company at this time, would I have been okay with the doors opening and Heenan coming out backwards on the camel again? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he'd left by this point.
He'd left. He left not long after Raw started, to be fair, I think.
Oh.
And he went to WCW and did commentary for them.
Oh, I see.
And he basically kicked Jesse Ventura out of...
Well, I'm not going to like him even more if you're going to tell me this. This is going
You
to be a
saw
problem.
Jesse Ventura's hair. There's enough reason to not like him, okay? We love Jesse, really. After that, where do we go? Yep, from one king to another as Jerry Lawler walks into shot to join Vince on the comms. Why he is in full wrestling gear will remain a mystery to me.
But that was a common theme, right?
For him?
Just do that to just sit down.
Yeah, he always had his tit out.
It's like a full kit wanker when they're watching telly on the
full
sofa.
Full kit wanker. That is exactly what he is.
Right.
Full kit wanker.
Be later watching the United and City derby in a full United kit.
You think I'm going to watch that fucking massacre? Not a chance. Jerry flubs a couple of his early gags, which is unfortunate, and I grow frustrated with the fact that he is chewing gum.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice, I'll be honest.
As Vince tells us some of the upcoming matches, which will forever frustrate Holly.
Yep. And
we start to hear a Burger King chant directed at Jerry. That was one of the chants that he used to get, because I think one of the wrestlers said it to him once.
And that's just stuck.
We now get a Brett and Owen VT. The package, shows us how the relationship between the brothers deteriorated, and this started all the way back at Survivor Series. Owen knocked Brett off the apron and into the guardrail, which led to Owen's elimination. Owen is pissed that he was the only one from his team to be eliminated and shoves Brett. From here, Owen would challenge Brett to a match, which Brett refuses on the basis he doesn't want to fight his brother. We then see the two form a tag team and go against the Quebecers for the tag team titles. After coming up short, we see Owen kick Brett's leg out from under his leg. Yes, he does say that, and we will cover it when we do the Rumble from '94. We see Owen being interviewed by Johnny Polo, aka the former Scotty Flamingo, aka the future Raven, and he says that he won't be held down by Brett any longer, and that just because the Hitman is older, it doesn't mean he's better. Vince goes to send it to the ring for the opening match and seems surprised by the lame duck firework that dribble out of the ceiling. I take it, based on the face you pulled, that you hadn't necessarily clocked that was Raven again?
Again, yes. I tell you, this memory is fucking awful.
He also appears later on the show.
Does he?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay, yeah.
He definitely, 100% appears on the show.
Okay.
So when you found out that we were watching Owen Hart and Bret Hart, what did you think was happening? Well, not a match between the two of them. That was a stupidly worded question. So, yes.
I thought...
Well, you thought I was going to have a match, Scott.
A sit-down family debate.
En masse.
So, what do you mean?
Were you anticipating? Because I know you always say you try and keep your expectations low.
I do.
You found out Bret Hart's having a match with Owen Hart.
Yes, and I thought, this could be good.
This could be good.
This could be good.
This could be good. Let's find out if you thought it was good.
Shall we?
Let's. What? Ooh. Oh, okay, no, I didn't realise what I wrote there. Holly, you like a good nose.
I do.
Where would you rank the beak of Owen Hart?
Yeah, it's a good schnoz.
It's a great schnoz.
It's a good schnoz. I do love a good schnoz.
I know.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it?
No, I like it.
Fair enough. What were you... no, I've already asked this. Oh, actually, no, I've kind of worded it a slightly different way. Okay. This is more...
This is being peppered with questions here.
Yeah, properly seasoned with
What
the
are we going to see? Do you like his nose? What's coming next?
Well, guess what happened? What were you expecting out of this match? Based on your W scale for the show, I assume you thought it would be a strong start.
Yes.
And you'd be on the right tracks for the Holly W.
I hoped so.
Okay. To me, this is the best Owen Hart look. A spin-off of the Hitman outfit, including the shades which he rips when he gets into the ring, which I quite liked.
Yes.
What a reception for Brett when his music hits and the camera does that fantastic run up the aisle to meet him as he appears and makes his way to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
As usual, Brett puts his shades on a very young boy's head.
Yeah.
But what is unusual is that the kid in no way, shape or form looks happy about this and sticks his tongue out at his dad after it has happened. Lola says that's because he's an Owen Hart fan.
Yeah, okay.
Fine.
I mean, it works.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kid did not care.
No, really looked unhappy, like he'd been forced to go there so Brett could put glasses on him.
They said as well, and I don't know if this is right, that this was the first ever brother versus brother match. That is correct.
I believe so, yeah.
Cool. It's like a fact check at WrestleMania.
Certainly at WrestleMania,
I'm
yeah.
not saying ever. Just before anyone calls
trying to think. Well, no, I'm trying to think in WWF. There isn't one that's coming to mind, so I think it could well have been. Because, I mean, to be fair, you didn't get too many wrestling brothers in general at this point. And usually they're on the same side. Like the Von Erichs in Texas, they were always on each other's side. They never went against each other in the 80s. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that one isn't coming to mind suggests that it's probably up there. And it's certainly the first on this scale.
Yes.
Let's go Brett chants echo as the opening bell sounds and the two men lock up. Owen shoves Brett off and celebrates wildly. Headlock takedown by Owen sees Brett put a head scissors on, but Owen kips up to celebrate wildly once again.
Yep.
Go behind, hello, and takedown by the Hitman, who rides his brother in the top position until Owen reaches the ropes. Owen then does the same go behind and takedown, but Brett escapes by rushing the ropes and ducking, sending Owen to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
The Rocket, feel free again to pepper me with your thoughts as we go through this.
I will, but actually we're almost word for word.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're doing this level of notes?
I did, and I don't know how.
Wow, fair play.
It dies off very
You
soon.
put riding time, did you, in there as well?
Yeah.
The Rocket rushes back into the ring and slaps the piss out of Brett before backing into the corner and ducking backwards above the second rope as Earl Hebner steps between them.
Yeah. Loves to be in the middle, doesn't he?
Oh, I get to Earl Hebner.
He loves a sandwich.
He loves a manwich. More than you. Hammerlock by Owen is countered into one from Brett, but a drop toe hold takedown and side headlock is applied, but the Rocket... By the Rocket, excuse me. Sorry, I could just see...
No, you're just firing shots at me today for no fucking reason.
This is letting off my pent-up aggression, apparently.
Wow.
Sorry, you can get your own back tomorrow. Brett shifts out note, using... Where are we?
Oh, what a shame. You have lost
Using
your
leverage
place.
and positioning to his advantage. Found it, bitch. Brett shifts out into the hammerlock and then shortly after, a standing arm wringer. Lovely roll through and flip reversal by Owen, who yanks Brett to the canvas by his hair. Brett then kips up himself and goes back to the arm wringer. Corner whip is reversed, but Brett goes up and over and gets an O'Connor roll for a 2 count. Arm drag by Brett, who goes back to an arm lock as Let's Go Brett starts up again. Hammerlock sees Owen elbow free and follow up with a shoulder tackle. Running exchange results in Brett monkey flipping Owen into the air, and he gets a nasty landing in the ropes before the Hitman follows up with a clothesline to the floor. Owen looks like he's going to walk backstage, but Brett throws him back into the ring and asks him what he's going to do now. They shove each other and Brett returns the slap from earlier and gets a near fall off a schoolboy roll-up. We get the classic Vince, 1, 2, yes he got him, no he didn't. Brett looks to work over the arm and Owen tries to grab the hair to break free, but the ref stops it. Back on their feet and the Hitman counters a clothesline with a crucifix pin for a near fall. Very much enjoyed that.
Yes.
Before immediately jumping back on the arm. I know you get bored of the repetition of that. Another nice running sequence results in Owen connecting with a spinning heel kick before he proceeds to kick Brett out to the floor. Not his leg out of his leg on this occasion. No, not on this one. On the outside, Owen picks Brett up and runs him back first into the ring post.
Drink.
The Rocket shouts at him before throwing him back into the ring. Headbutt in the corner and Owen whips Brett into the buckles hard. Backbreaker by Owen, who follows up with a camel clutch.
Ah, yeah.
What do you call it?
Boston Crab.
Ah, well, not at all.
No,
No, it's a move.
it's just the back bend.
Yeah, the Boston Crab is the Walls of Jericho.
Yes.
Yep.
Wrong way around. I always get it the wrong way around because your body is the wrong way around, effectively.
Yep, fair. Brett manages to fight his way back to his feet, but runs into a belly-to-belly suplex that gets a near fall.
Okay.
Corner whip reversal sees Owen leap to the second rope and connect with a crossbody.
I like that.
I bet it did. Bet it did. Bet you did. But I was reading the rest of my thing. I wasn't expecting the jump in there. But Brett rolls through for a 2 count. A frustrated Owen springs up and continues the assault before applying a modified camel clutch. Not a Boston Crab.
I gave up a back stretch.
Back stretch. No, that's the John Cena move. Oh no, that's the chin stretch. Chin rest hold, isn't it? Oh, it's been so long since we've seen.
It's been so while.
That's fair. I deserve that. I deserve that after the abuse you've taken. So far into this match, how are you feeling?
All right.
Okay.
It's okay. Just the arm stuff was teetering on the edge of annoyance.
Okay.
But we
We're
moved
still in
past it ish.
A frustrated Owen springs up and continues the assault before applying a modified camel clutch, which is what I've just said. Well done, Scott. The Rocket looks for a body slam, but Brett shifts his weight and falls into a pin for a near fall, with the kick out sending him to the floor. Owen raises his arms in the ring moments before he attempts to suplex Brett back inside from the apron. Brett lands behind him, however, and behind the Rocket, and they exchange go-behinds until Owen hits a fucking beautiful German suplex with a bridge for a 2. Really good suplex.
Lovely.
Owen drops a leg to the back of the neck and gets another 2 count. An attempted suplex by Owen is blocked twice and Brett nearly sneaks a pinfall off a small package. Off a whip, Owen counters a sidewalk slam by backflipping out and hits a tombstone on his brother. Notice how he hit the normal variant and not the sit-out version that fucked Austin a few years later.
Yeah.
The Rocket signals this one is over as he heads to the top rope, but he misses with a diving headbutt attempt. Bret begins to rally as he hits an inverted atomic drop and clothesline for a 2 count. Gut punch and side Russian leg sweep gets a near fall for the Hitman. Backbreaker by Bret and a second rope elbow gets a very near 3.
Mm-hmm.
The Hitman catches the boot of Owen, but the Rocket turns it into an enziguri and is now poised for the sharpshooter. As he looks to lace the legs, Bret punches and looks to apply one of his own, but Owen pulls the hair and breaks the attempt. The Rocket looks to apply a wheelbarrow O'Connor roll, but Bret kicks out at 2, sending Owen to the outside. Without hesitation, the Hitman slingshots himself over the ropes and onto Owen, but it looks like he has hurt his knee on the landing.
Mm-hmm.
Owen feigns begging off in the corner, but is a ploy as he immediately targets the knee with a variety of strikes, including wrapping Bret's leg around the ring post on 3 occasions.
Drink.
There you go.
Drink 3 times.
There you go. The Rocket mocks Bret as he limps and hits a dragon screw leg whip before applying an Indian deathlock. Let's go. So what have you put?
A submission manoeuvre.
All right, Vince.
Yep.
What a manoeuvre.
There's no way I could have described that. So we'd be here half hour.
Let's go Bret as the elder brother takes more kicks to the knee. Another dragon screw leg whip, but this time it leads to a figure 4 leg lock.
Mm-hmm.
As the hold is applied, Owen is raising his arms in victory, which is a really nice touch, actually.
Yeah.
Hebner counts a couple of 2s as Bret's shoulders fall to the canvas. Bret manages to briefly reverse the pressure until the 2 wind up in the ropes. A series of kicks to kick the leg from out of his leg over the ropes sounds brutal, but instead of a 3rd dragon screw, Bret hits an enziguri of his own, flipping Owen completely.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful corner whip sees Owen take a page out of Bret's book as he hits the buckle's sternum first. Leg drop gets a near fall. Lovely running bulldog also gets a 2 count. This bit you will not like.
No.
Big time pile driver from Bret causes Holly to wince,
yep,
as she is really invested in the match by this point, but still only enough for 2. I think you're in the match at this point.
Yeah, I definitely was by this point. But I knew who I was rooting for. I always have to have someone that I root
Bret.
for, obviously.
Yeah. Bret sits Owen atop the buckles before connecting with a beautiful superplex. He drapes his arm over Owen's chest, but no, still only 2. Big forearms by Bret and Owen whiffs on a wild right and is placed into a sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
He makes his way to the ropes, and as Hebner nearly falls over Bret, Owen kicks his brother with a massive and blatant low blow. Sure, I'll believe that the ref missed that.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the ring, Owen applies the sharpshooter and Bret is in trouble. He just manages to power out and apply a sharpshooter of his own, but Owen is right by the ropes and the hold is broken. Bret gets the boot up on a corner charge before looking to get a victory roll pin. However, during the motion, Owen stops with him being the one to make the pin. However, during the motion, Owen stops with him being the one to make the pin, and we get the 1, the 2, the 3.
Yeah.
Surprised?
Very. I literally have in my notes, wow, not how I thought it would finish.
Mm-hmm.
Really not how I thought it would finish at all.
We do see a big glob of spit on Owen's face as his hand is raised, and this is some great work by both men.
Mm-hmm.
Bret looks so annoyed with himself that he let that one get away. Meanwhile, Owen doesn't appear to believe he actually won. But Holly, bet you didn't see that result coming.
No, genuinely no.
What'd you score it?
Oh, you want to go straight in?
Or what'd you think, and then what'd you score it?
I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a perfect... For me, this is like a perfect pairing as well. They're both so nimble, but strong.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Fast paced. There wasn't a lot of sitting around taking a breath, as we see later.
Yokozuna.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
It's the highest score of any Mania match.
Wow, there you go.
I went back and I looked at my notes.
Nice.
The highest Mania match.
Okay, so you're very close to Dave, 4.75.
Oh, okay.
I'm giving it 5.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed this match.
Yeah.
Everything in it made sense. It was a great story. Both of them did really well. I don't remember a single error at all, apart from Hebner nearly going arse over tea kettle over Bret, which I'm not going to hold against the match. It had a bit of everything. It was really good. Really good, so I'll give it 5 stars.
Fair.
And I had a bet with Jamie.
Yeah.
I said that this was going to be the match I thought you'd give 5 stars, the first one at WrestleMania.
Oh,
He thought it would be another match on this card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Holly, did you know that Vince McMahon was against the Bret versus Owen feud?
Really? Really?
Under Vince McMahon's logic, brothers don't fight, which would suggest that he himself didn't spend a great deal of time with his own brother Rod. Imagine if Bret and Owen didn't get this match, what a tragedy that would have been. Easily one of my favourite WrestleMania matches ever. The notion that brothers don't fight, what do you think they do?
I don't have a brother, I have a sister, and we fight like cat and dog.
Yeah, but
physically.
But literally, who's the cat and who's the dog in this?
I'll take the dog. I don't mind.
Are you calling her a dog?
No, so no, I'll be the dog. That's fine.
So, really strong start to the show.
Very.
You called your sister a dog unintentionally.
No,
That's
didn't.
fine. And from here, we go to straight away backstage. It feels like what Al Hayes was doing.
Yes, it does.
At the first WrestleMania, but it's not Al Hayes. It's
No.
Todd Pettingzoo.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Pettingale interviews Owen. Every time I say the surname, I can feel you flinch. In case I call him something else. We can at least tell this is live, as Owen still has the spit on his face.
Yeah.
And he's being interviewed by Todd. Pettingale asks Owen how he feels, and Owen says he is on cloud 9, and now he is the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Owen looks skittish in his promo as he keeps looking off camera, probably as the ring is that way.
Mm-hmm.
Todd asks Owen if he thinks Bret has a chance for the title later. Owen says that Bret is still a fighter, which didn't quite feel in character, to be honest. But after the beating he gave him, he doesn't have a hope in hell.
Okay.
Todd sends us to a WrestleMania moment, and we hear Gorilla tell us about the happening that was WrestleMania 2 and the WWF NFL Battle Royal. So this bit, Holly, I know they have a lot of shit on WrestleMania.
Are we talking about hair? Are we not there yet?
No, we're there.
we're there, okay.
We're there.
Yeah.
Now this is just ridiculous. The chairman of the hair club for men, Cy Sperling, is introduced, and we see his handiwork on Howard Finkel.
I mean, Finkel does look great with hair, though.
Who is wearing a carpet on his head. It matches,
Yeah.
but all I'm thinking is, I know what the real situation is here.
Well.
It was just, why?
Yeah, I mean, it's not
I don't get
necessary,
it.
is it?
Well, Hogan wasn't here then.
Is that different to switching to an ad break? Like, we'll just show you the adverts in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do Vagisil.
Oh, God.
The Fink basically tells them to get to fuck so he can start his job properly, and match number 2 can begin.
Yes.
Match number 2. I tell you what, this has dived into the doldrums for you, hasn't it?
Well, it's very much so going with my W format.
Isn't it?
That's for damn fucking sure.
And that match is Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon versus Doink the Clown and Dink.
Mm-hmm.
So when you heard it was going to be a mixed tag team match, because we get Bam Bam and Luna out first,
I thought, brilliant. This is going to be really good.
Oh, I'd love to have seen the disappointment on your face.
Then I saw it.
Would you rather have had a female clown?
There's no fucking clowns. Fuck off with the clowns. I'm so done with these clowns.
You've seen them once.
Yeah, and I'm fucking done.
Twice, actually, now.
3 times.
3
A
times.
fucking lady.
A clown.
I don't like it. And yes, just I'm gonna get angry, so I'll be quiet. No, I can fuck off. Honestly, livid.
This is the full-on babyface version of the song, which is just that circus nonsense. So for the first time since WrestleMania 4, Bam Bam makes his way back to the grandest stage of them all, alongside his main squeeze, as she's referred to, Luna Vachon. Holly, I don't know about you, but I don't need to imagine these two getting sticky with one another. As mentioned in previous episodes, this is not the Matt Bourne version of Doink the Clown, but instead the out-and-out face version played by Ray Apollo. Now, Holly, if you thought you hated the first version of Doink, this right here is levels below what you've seen up to this point. Interesting to note that in the eyes of Vince McMahon, women and little people equate one another in a fight. Thoughts?
I can't.
Thoughts?
Stupid.
Doink, as he circles the ring, squirts water out of a flower at Cy Sperling. So much... I'm going to have to read this again because I forgot what I was going for. Doink, as he circles the ring, squirts water out of a flower at Cy Sperling. So much like Giant Gonzalez, he isn't all that bad. What's he doing here? Fuck off. The bell sounds as Doink enters the ring and is immediately set upon by Bam Bam.
Good.
I think I know which side Holly's on, and I didn't know she was going to say good then. Massive shoulder tackle from the big man drops Doink, as does a second. Now, a man of Bam Bam's size has no right to hit a drop kick, but that is exactly what he does as Doink hits the ropes once more. Body slam by Bigelow, but he misses the back senton attempt and allows Doink to get some momentum with a few right hands. As Bam Bam hits the buckles off a whip hard, I thought Dink was going to go flying as the ring looked like it shifted.
Yeah.
Arm wringer by Doink, who snapmares Bigelow down whilst retaining an arm lock. Bam Bam fights free and drops Doink with a back elbow off a whip, but this time misses with an elbow drop. Dink makes the tag and runs right up to Bama's like Scrappy Doo with his fist cocked, ready for a fight. All I can hear is, "Let me at him! Let me at him, Uncle Scoob!" Good athleticism from Dink, who leaps up into the air and touches his toes. I can't do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't want to give anything for them, do you? It's great.
No, I'm so angry. I'm going to talk about Luna's gear. Ooh.
Well, Luna has to make her way into the match, and she misses with a collar and elbow attempt, and then also misses an attempt to fall on the little clown. Describe her gear for me.
It's lovely. I think she's got a cracking figure.
Okay.
No, you're not here for it. With like the pants.
I'm not attracted to men.
And then I don't know what you'd call them. Like
arseless chaps. It's interesting gear. Yeah. I mean, is she in a much better shape than I am as a bloke? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, don't do it.
No, I don't know why it kind of works and doesn't work with her, because I understand the theme,
yes,
the thematics of it, but I think it should be more covered.
Okay.
Because it doesn't seem in keeping with that persona for her. Because it's not like here's a female who's an eye candy who likes to get there.
Yeah,
it seems a bit of a dichotomy to me, but hey,
who?
A dichotomy.
Jesus.
But if you liked it, I said pipette, dichotomy, we're getting them all today.
Fancy.
But if you liked it, then that's great.
I did.
Okay. As she smacks the canvas out of frustration, Dink takes the opportunity to smack that ass, or as Vince put it, smack the keister. Rikishi wasn't on this show. He should have been, but we'll get to that later. Luna kicks Dink as he circles and then chokes him over the middle rope before guillotining him with her legs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that. Oh, yes, I do. Back to the choke, but she misses the second guillotine attempt, allowing Dink to drop an elbow and get a 2 count. Dink leaps into the air once more before running circles around Luna, but is abruptly stopped courtesy of a kick to the gut. Holly cheers. Luna misses with an elbow drop and Dink shoulder tackles her ass, sending her onto her face. That was good. I'm sorry, that was good. Up top, and Dink looks to hit a double axe handle, but Luna moves out of the way, causing the small clown to flip as he hits the canvas. Solid sell, that.
Mm-hmm.
Back rake by Luna, who just starts to maul Dink before hitting a body slam, and Vince on commentary says, "Dink is a powerhouse in his own right." Sure, Vince. Luna now climbs to the top rope, but Dink rolls out of the way of a splash, on this occasion, and he makes the tag to Doink. Bam Bam in 2, and he runs right into a drop toe hold from the clown. The big clown. Doink fails to move the big man on a shoulder tackle and instead gets clotheslined over the top rope to the floor. Dink now taunts Bigelow, who misses with a dive, as does Luna moments later. Get it, Holly? It's comedy.
No.
Dink runs over Luna's back, which I liked, before running to the outside. The diving thing was dumb, but the running over the back gets me. I don't know what it is. Back in the ring, and Doink is trying to get the big man over, as Vince says on commentary. If they're trying to get Bam Bam over, this was not the match to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Bigelow blocks the attempts and sits out on Doink instead. Okay, that sounds graphic. Lola says he wishes Bam Bam would hit that on Dink, and Holly agrees.
Yeah.
Doink gets his boot up on a corner charge before hitting a big DDT on Bigelow. Top rope flying whoopsie misses by, I think he actually called it the whoopee cushion, and that was his finishing move.
Okay.
Who hits the ropes knocking... jumped a bit there. Top rope flying whoopsie misses by Doink, and that can't be good for a man's tailbone. 2 clotheslines from Bam Bam, who hits the ropes knocking Dink off the apron, so I thought that was coming from earlier, but it does happen. Big Show stumbles into Doink, who looks to hit a back suplex, but Bigelow shifts his weight to land on the clown and get a near fall. Falling headbutts from Bigelow set up the top rope variation, which also connects, and we get the 1, the 2, the 3. At least from Holly's perspective, the right team emerged victorious.
That's what I've literally put. Glad the stupid clowns didn't win.
So just bearing in mind Bam Bam's position on this card, yeah?
Yeah.
To where we go to next WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
So just bear that in mind.
Try and remember.
You won't, but just try. Dink marches back into the ring and kicks at the leg of Bigelow, who points at Luna, signalling for Dink to turn into a kick and body slam. The heels look to double splash Dink, but the clown rolls away. Well, not at all really, as Luna fully splashes him. Doink clubs the leg of Bam Bam, who goes after Dink, dropping him, and it's just a fucking mess.
Yep, I have put, okay, I'm done now. It's finished. Let's be done with this shit and move on.
And the crowd has completely died.
Yes.
Star rating, please, Holly.
1.
1.75 from Dave.
Interesting.
If I ignore what happened after the match, 1.5.
Okay.
If I include what happened after the match,
Yes.
0.25. It was the bit after was crap, so bad. I'm trying to think of like something positive that I can give it. I like Bam Bam.
I do too, but this was... I just can't. With the
This was not the... So, I'm trying to think of that. What if they had like a clown in it that was like the Stephen King It clown? It's ludicrous, but...
It would work better for me.
Do you prefer the original version of Doink to this version
Yes.
of Doink? Wow.
Yes.
That's how bad this one was, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Just also be done with clowns.
Be done with clowns.
I know there's many more gimmicks that come and follow in the years to come, and I'm sure I won't like most of them either. But
Duke the Dumpster Drosy. The Bin Man.
oh fuck!
You didn't know there was a Bin Man? No. I'm looking on Cameo later.
But it's also the clown thing. I just don't like it.
It just doesn't work. Is it too, dare I say, fake?
I'm not a clown fan outside of wrestling either. It's not even like a scared thing. It's just don't like it.
No, I've never been.
Never piqued my interest. It's not fun to me. That's not funny.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it's funny either.
So...
But that's why I like the dark version, because it had the edge to it.
Okay.
Bill Clinton in the crowd.
Sure.
Well, you thought it was. WrestleMania 10. That was quite the event. And yes, WWE did indeed heavily promote an appearance by none other than Bill Clinton himself during WrestleMania 10 in New York City. However, there was a twist. It wasn't actually the real Bill Clinton. Instead, it was a Clinton impersonator named Timothy Waters who made an appearance. This faux Clinton was shown on the broadcast 3 times during the event. At one point, Todd Pettengill even interviewed the imposter, asking whether he was enjoying the show. The crowd's reaction was more enthusiastic when Erwin R. Shyster spoke than when the fake Clinton did. Not true. Interestingly, Vince McMahon, the man behind WWE, is a known Republican, while Clinton is a Democrat. Some speculate that this was Vince's way of taking some inside shots at the Democrat president.
I see.
WrestleMania moment.
Isn't it just?
Vince McMahon sends us to Gorilla Monsoon a Gorilla Monsoon voiceover of WrestleMania 3 stare down between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. And this might be one of the very few WrestleMania moments they go to where I don't think, oh god, Holly's having a PTSD flashback.
There's one coming later that I literally was like, will you get off my telly?
Yes. Yeah. I knew that when it happened as well. But the event's about to give back to you, Holly.
Oh, it gave so well.
Macho Man Randy Savage versus Crush with Mr. Fuji in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Right, firstly, I love Randy, we know that. So I was so happy, and literally my first note says, it's stupid how happy I get just hearing his music. But this match really confused me.
Understandably so. What confused you?
My notes start off normal.
Okay.
And within about 5 bullet points, I literally put, what? It's over? ? Because this is not just a Falls Count Anywhere match.
This is a Marks and Spencer's Falls Count Anywhere match.
This is also a I'm going to pin you, you've got a time limit to get back in the ring match.
This is a I don't know what the fuck a Falls Count Anywhere match should look like, so this is what I'm going to do with it.
I was so confused because literally there's a pin that happens within a couple of minutes and I was like, oh, and I literally felt really disappointed. And I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I actually forgot that was the rule. I remember the match,
Yeah.
but I forgot that this was part of the stipulation at the time.
Yeah, well confusing.
And seeing as we've already seen Sting and Cactus Jack at Beach Blast 92, which is 2 years before this, do a perfectly serviceable Falls Count Anywhere within the Gulf Coast. Mm-hmm. And then we get this.
Boiling.
It was very confusing. Before we get into this one, Holly, I have something to tell you. Oh. This is the last time we will see Randy Savage compete at WrestleMania.
I knew you were going to do this to me. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. This makes me so sad. So sad.
But I do have a story for you.
Oh, okay.
Holly, do you know why Randy Savage left the WWF in 1994 for good?
I do not.
During the year in question, Vince wanted Savage to retire and do commentary full-time for the Federation. Savage was not on board with the idea, although he did say he eventually wanted to move to commentary, but under his own terms. And then we've got some quotes here. They wanted me to do the commentary thing, which I will want to do someday, but I just wasn't ready to take off my boots at that point. I'm glad I didn't. It wasn't anything but an attitude or a direction which the WWF was going, and they proved me to be 100% correct in where they were going because they had a vision in where they were going. But at the same time, it didn't work for me at that time, and I'm glad I made the move that I did looking back because I just wasn't ready to do that. I have to do things because I want to, not because I have to. Ooh, yeah! That is how he talks.
Wow. That's exhausting.
It was. He concisely reiterated this point during an interview with E! Entertainment Television, saying Vince McMahon was going for younger wrestlers at the time, you know. He was going with the new generation theme, nothing more than that. I was doing announcing for him over there, and I just wanted to be participating in the ring. When Savage's contract expired, he signed with WCW. Well, it didn't really expire. He basically just said to Vince, I'm not coming back anymore. And he actually called him drunkenly on a Sunday evening and said he was done, and people speculate that he got drunk because he didn't want to have the conversation with him face to face. And then the following night on Raw, Vince McMahon basically wished Savage all the best in his future endeavours. And eventually he would go to WCW.
Oh, this makes me sad.
Well, yes.
You giveth and then you taketh away.
We can still see him in other shows in
I
WCW,
know.
but you won't get him ever again in WrestleMania.
Damn it. Your pregnant pause is making me so nervous.
No, you're fine. Nothing to be nervous about at all. Now, Holly, give me your thoughts on this ring gear and entrance attire.
Phenomenal.
Grenades going off all over the fucking place.
Phenomenal. So good. He, honestly, every time I've seen him, ticks the outfit box.
Black and gold, wasn't it?
Brilliant. Love it.
Still with the full top part of the torso?
Fine, yeah,
Okay.
Fine.
Before Crush's music plays, Savage grabs the microphone for a final "Ooh yeah" on the WrestleMania stage. No need. He just grabs it from and shouts down
Not
the
mad
mic.
at it.
Fine. As Crush makes his way to the ring, let's take a moment to agree that this is Crush's best look to this point in time.
For sure.
So we've seen 3 versions of Crush.
Yes.
We've seen the Demolition version,
Yes.
the Bruh Crush from both WrestleMania and Raw, and now this.
Yes.
I don't know why I've put this, but I put Randy Savage. I know why he's here. WrestleMania 10. Fantastic.
Because it's what he said about Sean, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
I know why he's here. Got to do his fucking job.
Yeah.
Oh.
Savage bull rushes Crush in the entryway and unloads with strikes. Face first goes Crush into the elevated barrier, but he fights back with an inverted atomic drop. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by the Hawaiian precedes a military press that drops Savage neck first over the barrier. Crush makes the cover, and we get a 1, 2, 3. Now, it will be at this stage, Holly, where you will want me to clarify the rules.
Yeah, I've literally got what? It's over. Surely not. Hold on. I'm so confused. And I had to pause it and then rewatch it and then go, okay, right. It's not just a false count anywhere.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they decided that as soon as you had a pinfall, and you couldn't pin them in the ring, I noticed as well.
Yeah, that's
because it wouldn't make sense. If you pin them in the ring, they've got 30 seconds to get back to
back
where
in the
they
ring.
are. So they made this so convoluted, so much more
It's
complicated than they needed
such
to.
a strange stipulation. So what would we call this? A falls only count outside the ring match with a time stamp to get back in match.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's,
yeah, let's come up with a
I can't do it. I can't.
false count anywhere outside the ring, 30 seconds to return.
Yeah.
Match.
But it would have been nice if someone explained it at the start.
Well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because even I was like, wait, what?
I was, to be fair, if you'd have seen my face when that pin happened, I was livid. I was like, this is not how this fucking ends for Savage.
Especially after you got doink just the match before. I believe this was the first Falls Count Anywhere match the WWF put together, and the rules weren't exactly great. Once you got a fall on your opponent, they have 60 seconds, I tell a lie, 60 seconds apparently, to return to the ring for the match to continue. After a slow struggle to get to the ring, when Savage reaches the ropes, Mr. Fuji delivers a blow to the back courtesy of the flagpole he's holding.
Yep.
The count continues and Savage returns to the ring with 2 seconds to spare, but Crush is immediately back on the attack. With Savage lying face up on the apron, Crush delivers a chop to the throat. The big man puts Savage in the Tree of Woe, and Crush unloads with a stiff right hand to the gut.
Yeah.
As the ref attempts to untangle Savage, Crush goes to the other corner to do a couple of cheeky lines. Oh no, sorry, apparently that is salt he has in his hand. With the ref distracted by Mr. Fuji, Crush looks to throw salt in the eyes of Savage, but Macho Man knocks the powder into the big man's retinas instead.
Obviously that was going to happen.
Right hands and a running elbow drops Crush. From the top rope goes Savage with a double axe handle as Vince declares that no one does it better. Got that song in my head now. Body slam and back up top goes Savage, and he connects with a top rope elbow but doesn't make the cover. Instead dragging Crush to the floor and pinning him there. That stumped me.
Yes, this was when I was like, oh, okay, you can only pin outside the ring also. Okay, this is a thing.
So you can't pin the man in the ring at all? Question mark. Now Crush has 60 seconds to return to the ring. With the big man not looking like they will stir, Mr. Fuji empties a jug of water over his face, waking him up and allowing him to get into the ring with only seconds to spare.
Yeah.
Much like Crush did earlier, Savage immediately pounces and unloads with strikes before choking him over the top rope. The ref is warning Savage, who threatens to strike him in response. Moments before, Macho Man runs and is elevated over the top to the floor with a back body drop. Looked good.
That's what I've put. It looked bad because it was so good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but looked good though.
Yeah, exactly, like impactful.
The only good thing about having the 60 seconds after the falls is that I had a lot of dead periods with my notes. So, good. On the outside, and Crush hits a headbutt, but is blocked on ramming Randy's head into the post, instead seeing his own bounce off the metal.
And we drink.
We do. If that wasn't enough, he was given seconds off the steel steps and then clotheslined over the guardrail into the crowd.
Nice.
Super kick by Crush drops Savage, and now he's looking for a pile driver, but his back drops instead.
And very much so grateful for that, thank you.
It's like a Stone Cold match. Savage runs Crush into a wall before they start brawling backstage, and the big man is sent crashing through steel doors. 2 sets, in fact, and Savage makes the cover for a 3 count.
This I thought was very funny.
Macho Man looks to head back to the ring, but changes his mind, and using a pulley harness, Savage ties up the feet of Crush and elevates him off the floor before tying him to the metal structure. It's a great idea, but unfortunately the knot doesn't hold, and as Savage walks back to the ring, Crush slowly falls to the floor on his head.
Yeah.
However, he still doesn't have enough time to untie himself. Macho Man hits Fuge the Stooge for good measure and is announced the winner as Crush has not returned to the ring in time.
Yep.
A bloody mouth Savage has his arm raised in victory on his WrestleMania swan song.
Yeah.
The pulley. Let's talk about that.
I love that idea.
Love the idea.
I love the idea of it, and I actually felt sad, like when he walked away and you just see it kind of just drop slowly. I was like, oh, that's so shit, but it's such a funny idea. Like, that to me is funny and works logically better than... It's not the same, but you know the match we watched, which was Edge and Christian,
the steel cage, and the
yeah,
I agree.
Like this, I
this
don't know.
this would have been a better version of that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so I liked it.
How would you score Randy Savage's final
this makes me
WrestleMania
so sad. So firstly, I said it was a weird old match until I got my head around it. Even when I did get my head around it, it was a bit weird. But I kind of liked it. I really did like it. And I actually thought both of them together was a good little combo.
Yeah.
And for me, it achieved a 3.5 out of 5.
Wow. Okay. So Big Dave gave it 2.75.
Fine. Okay.
I am probably bang on with Dave, if I'm honest. I think that's a fair score.
We know I'll give extra points because...
It's macho.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where the length for it was good.
Yes.
Had it gone longer, that could have been a real drag. But I think they actually found a sweet spot for it. Pleased to see Savage win as he's exiting. Yeah. Although people weren't to know that, I guess, at this time. And what do you think of, like, in general, looking back retrospectively at the Randy Savage matches we've had so far? He's given a lot.
He has.
He's also done less than stellar things on some cards.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
George the Animal Steel.
It's not my favourite, obviously my favourite Savage.
Warrior?
Oh, I don't know.
Warrior, Hogan, Steamboat.
Oh, is that your...
They're the top 3 for me.
I don't know, you know. Oh, that's another question. I think that was, for me, that was a good one. I enjoyed that.
The retirement match with Warrior.
Yeah, no, that one did peak because that was a story. Oh, there's so many. Yeah, let's not sit and reminisce on Savage
We'll have to
here all day.
We'll have to do that
We'll do
another
a special,
time.
special Savage episode.
Lovely. And that's it. We
Well,
move
it
on.
leaped back up on my W. So far, we're right on track.
It did. We've got a lovely V forming at the moment.
Yeah.
That sounds horrendous.
Mm.
Todd Pettingale in the presidential box. Todd, with a hoop earring, I now notice,
Yes.
tries to get a word with Willie Clint. Todd asks him if he's enjoying WrestleMania, and to be fair to the bloke, it's a very good Clinton impression. He says he's loved wrestling for a long time and wouldn't miss this thing for all of the money in the world. Todd points out the presence of IRS, who thanks the president for raising taxes to catch out the tax cheats. But surely if they're tax cheats, raising the taxes doesn't punish those that avoid it, but the ones that were already paying.
Yep. Stupid.
Todd then sends us to footage of FanFest where you could dunk doink, not a double doink from behind, but you could dunk doink, have a match apparently, and get your
hold his head under.
and get your picture taken with the smoking guns and the Holly.
Oh.
Bob Holly.
Oh.
The Holly.
Why? All my notes say is, oh, Scott, look at all those action figs.
And then we see the Hasbro figure counter, and I pause on it and look through all the figures, and I'm a child once again. I absolutely loved seeing this. And I had a lot of them as well. I've still got them somewhere. We see two fans providing commentary over a match, and that is something I used to do myself when I was younger.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I'd just turn the volume down and sit there talking to myself as if I was commentating. It's so sad, but I'd do it again.
Aww.
If anyone's looking for a debonair announcer for a wrestling show,
You can put yourself out there.
hey, I'm very reasonable.
Think at Progress, you'd be like, move over, Nige.
Yeah, come on, Nige. Go have your pasta with your missus. I'll take this one from here. The whole time this package is playing, we hear the wonderful WrestleMania music in the background. Still got it.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the arena, and we are shown Savage saying, "You ain't seen nothing yet!" before he climbs into the sea of people.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
But I'm okay with it.
WrestleMania moment. Another WrestleMania moment takes us back to WrestleMania 4,
Yes.
where Savage had to beat 4 people to emerge as the new WWF champion. Holly starts having a PTSD episode at the thought of that show, but fortunately we move on swiftly.
Yep, I literally put, it was that Mania. Mm-hmm.
Pretty big moment coming up here.
Is it?
Pretty big.
Okay.
We get a women's match.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
In a WrestleMania.
The last one was, I believe, was it Velvet McIntyre against Fabulous Moolah, WrestleMania 2?
My God, is it that long?
I'm not counting the Luna Vachon thing that we saw earlier. I'm not counting Sensational Sherry in the mixed tag
That
match.
does not count. Maybe it is that long.
I think it is.
I mean,
Do you know-
effectively worth the wait, I suppose.
I've got a fact actually. I don't know when I'll otherwise be able to bring it up, so I'll mention it now. You know, at WrestleMania, was it 2 or 3? Which one did Rockin' Robin sing the national anthem for?
You're asking the wrong girl.
Okay, so we remember Rockin'
Yes.
Robin sang the national anthem. She was the WWF Women's Champion
Singing
at the time.
was a questionable word, yes.
She was making noises with her mouth at the
Yes.
microphone, not wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you know that she's Jake Roberts' sister?
No.
There you go.
Interesting.
I was thinking, how am I going to shoehorn that into something? I thought, women's wrestling.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this match now,
Yes.
Leilani Kai
Mm-hmm.
versus Alundra Blaze for the WWF Women's Championship.
Yes.
I know you're aware of both of these because we've seen Medusa, although not in a wrestling
Yes.
capacity.
I've
And we've
also I've seen Alundra Blaze on many a wrestling thing I've watched, and all of the wrestlers I suppose that I would have, the female wrestlers like Bellas and all that jazz, they all jabber on about her. So I know who she is. I've seen some of her stuff.
I like Alundra Blaze. I
Yep.
think she's actually a really nice person.
Yeah.
She was ahead of her time from the US
Mhm.
side for a lot of stuff. And we've also seen Leilani Kai.
Yes, we have.
And you're trying to recall back in the archives where from?
Yes, I know, because I know the name.
First WrestleMania, she was the one against Wendy Richter.
Of course she was. Of course
So
she was.
For the first time since WrestleMania 2, we're seeing a women's title match at the granddaddy of them all. Unfortunately for Leilani Kai, she is treated to a jobber's entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Story. Holly, do you know anything about Leilani Kai?
Nope.
Leilani Kai was a former WWF Women's Champion and was the woman who defeated Wendy Richter in 1985 at the War to settle the score to set up their WrestleMania match that we saw at the start of the March Through the Manias series. Leilani was also one half of the Glamour Girls alongside Judy Martin, and the pair would win the WWF Women's Tag Team titles in 1985, although the evidence of that specific match taking place is actually heavily debated. Kai is also a former AJPW All-Pacific champion and was the NWA Women's Wrestling champion as well. So her appearance on the 10th WrestleMania was a nice nod back to history, but that isn't to say that Leilani didn't merit in being in this position with Alundra. At the time, there was very few women within the company that they could pick to be seen as credible.
Right.
It was around this time, slightly going into 95, where Bull Nakano would have her feud with Alundra Blaze. But Leilani Kai seemed as good a choice as any that was available at the time, even though she was well past it. But she decorated a lot of titles in her career. The last time we saw Alundra on this podcast was as Medusa at WCW Beach Blast 92, so this is a much welcome change of getting to see her work in the ring. Great attire on Blaze, and the fireworks actually make her look like a star, if I'm honest, although the crowd aren't massively behind her based on the minimal reaction.
Yes.
Did you like the gear?
Really, really like it.
Leilani Kai's gear was shite.
Yes.
But...
And it's a good contrast. Obviously, you've got...
White.
I think she was in white and black, wasn't it?
So Alundra was white, and then Leilani Kai just looked like, I'll quickly throw something together.
It's the old swimming costume outfit again, isn't it?
Basically. With leggings on, is what I have in my head. As the bell sounds, Alundra Blaze's name pops up on the screen and is quickly replaced with Owen Hart. You spot that?
Yeah, it's so weird.
Now, I know Owen was the Blue Blazer, but he method acted the shit out of playing Alundra Blaze. Perhaps any name in wrestling that features the word Blaze is actually Owen Hart in disguise.
Maybe.
Blue Blazer, Alundra Blaze.
Well.
It's a theory. It's bollocks. The camera is too close on the zoom of Alundra, and we miss her first move, which I would guess to be a leg sweep. Collar and elbow sees Blaze back to the ropes before she is levelled with a body check off a whip. Blaze is sent into the buckles, but counters a charge with a sunset flip that gets a near fall.
Yep.
The champ is unable to knock Kai off her feet with a shoulder block, so on the second charge, changes tact, ducks between the legs, and runs into another sunset flip that gets 2. Leilani impressively lifts Blaze off the canvas with a double-handed choke and throws her back down hard. Body slam gets a 2 count for the challenger, but Blaze regains a brief amount of control as she hits a flying muffin that she turns into a Hurricane Runner for 2.
Really like that.
2 hair snapmares by Kai before she throws Blaze to the floor. Not sure why she did this though, as she retrieves her immediately and throws her back inside.
Yes, it seems like a bit of a wasted effort.
It did. I didn't see the purpose of it. Ye old classic hair toss by the challenger, who then hits a nice butterfly suplex for a near fall.
Oh, okay.
What do you call it?
I didn't attempt it.
Okay, fair enough.
But I was like, this is nice. Whatever this is.
We see Scott Steiner do a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
Alundra ducks a clothesline and hits one of her own before moments later hitting a standing spinning leg lariat that drops Leilani hard. Suplex by the champion gets 2. 2 hair snapmares are returned by Blaze, who gets another near fall. A wild swing by Kai is ducked, and Alundra hits a very nice German suplex with a bridge and holds on for the 1, 2, 3. The champ retains. We see a row of legends in the crowd: Freddie Blassie, Captain Lou Albano, Nikolai Volkov with hair,
Yes.
and Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young.
Yeah.
Just as this match is kind of finishing off. What do you think?
I actually enjoyed it, which surprised me. As in,
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't. But compared to what I thought it could have been, I was quietly surprised.
Okay.
Don't know.
And if you've given it a score?
I have. She gave it 2 out of 5.
Okay. So Big Dave gave it 1.25. I'm going to go I'm between 1.5 and 1.75.
Yep.
1.75 because I think it could have been a lot worse than it was.
Oh, for sure. It was a good length for what they were doing.
Made Blaze look good.
Exactly.
The German suplex with the bridge. I'm always a fan of the bridge. As an example, someone as a wrestler that I thought was just offered nothing was Alicia Fox. Brilliant Northern Lights suplex with a bridge.
Lovely.
Brilliant.
Yes.
We'll never fault that on her.
No.
Probably, I don't think I've seen anyone do it better.
No.
Like, that's how good that bridge is.
But we're following the trend of the W still.
We are, but there's still too many matches.
I know, it's not.
So you're going to have
only
a
do 1, 2,
woo,
3,
woo, woo.
4, 5. Yeah, it can be carried on W.
WrestleMania moment again. For the next WrestleMania moment, we are taken back to Trump Plaza and the Piper's Pit segment, which features Morton Downey Jr.
Yeah,
and once more,
sorry, at this point.
Holly is suffering PTSD.
I walked away and got a drink.
I mentioned that later on, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the only drink I consumed in this.
What's
left, shall we say?
I'm well aware. Tag team title match. Men on a Mission versus the Quebecers with Johnny Polo, a.k.a. Raven.
Oh, God.
I'm smiling ear to ear just thinking about Holly's face watching these clowns enter the ring. Oscar is rapping, Mo and Mabel to the ring, and yes, Holly, that is the future Viscera right there.
Thank you, because I literally put... I recognise one of these guys. His name, I could never pronounce it, but I'm sure it's, and I've spelt it, Viscera, question mark. Tell me I'm right. I'm not going to Google it.
Viscera, indeed.
Okay.
Nelson Fraser.
I remember him being creepy.
Yeah, he was part of the Ministry of Darkness, which was...
fucking not. Oh, all I've written down is say ooh. Oh. Yeah. Get off my titty.
There it is.
Oh, God.
Now, if anyone can find me two guys with less natural rhythm than these two twats, I'll be stunned. We're sent backstage to Todd Pettingill.
Oh, guess
who's with Rhonda Shear.
Oh, I didn't even know who she was. I just put some girl with big eyes and big ...
tits.
Hair.
Hairy tits. And I'll give you two guesses, Holly, why she was invited to the show.
Who's she banging?
Her sparkling personality and her just zest for life.
I just wonder where the rest of her outfit was. I think she forgot to put trousers or a skirt on, because she's literally in a leotard.
My bet is Burt Reynolds' bedroom floor.
Yeah, probably.
Shawn Michaels walks into the shop and says that he and Rhonda are an item and asks the cameras to take a picture of them, which he counts down for. Just as he gets to one, however, the cameraman is shoved to one side as Burt Reynolds in a leather jacket walks directly in front of Shawn and turns beaming at the camera. Shawn pats him on the shoulder and asks why he's interfering. By the way, this is a tag team title match.
Yeah.
Burt tells him to shave his chest, and when Michaels unzips Burt's leather jacket and sees a shirt and tie, storms off. As he leaves, Burt says, "Never come back." And I had very similar feelings. Rhonda does a good job of fawning over Burt and swoons after he says he'll take her wherever she wants to go.
Oh, yeah. To Pound Town.
Yeah, exactly. Population dead ass. Rhonda does a good... Oh, no, we've done that. Vince is doing his throaty when the cameras bring us back to the arena. In the ring, we now see Johnny Polo with the WWF Tag Team Champions in the Quebecers. Pierre, i.e. the one that isn't Rougeau, is still wrestling to this day as PCO in TNA and formerly Ring of Honor, where he was their champion at one point.
How old is he?
Google PCO wrestler now. I just want to see your face live for this.
Okay.
So anyone else who's listening to this, you'll be familiar with PCO's work. He's doddery as anything.
Pierre Carl
Ouellette.
Right, what am I doing? Images?
Yes. So you want to see the comparison of him as part of the Quebecers to him currently and see if they look like the same human.
I'm so confused. This guy?
Have you got it up?
Yep. Really?
Mm-hmm.
But he was so nice.
He was so nice. Oh no, Holly.
I know, as in like, not nice like looking, but in like, as in face, I guess.
Yeah.
But now he's this.
Yep. Former Ring of Honor champion as well.
He must be old, man.
Yeah, he is. And basically, he still does... You know, like we see in this match where he does the sentons a lot?
Yeah.
He still does them now.
Shut your face.
And everyone gets terrified.
Oh, my God. Oh, wow.
Yeah. With the black eye paint?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Right, Okay, brilliant.
There you go.
Wow.
The Quebecers attack early with right hands to Mabel and Mo, with the latter being sent to the floor. Double axe handle by Pierre from the top of the back. From the top to the back drops Mabel to one knee. But when they look to double clothesline him, they get mowed down.
Oh, I see what you did there. Wasn't intentional, I'm aware, because it's the wrong person, but...
Yeah, let's go with it was intentional. Mo and Pierre officially get this one underway, and no sooner has it started, it is nearly finished as Mo hits a crossbody for a near fall. Mabel is tagged in and drops the leg on the back of Pierre's head after Mo hits a drop toe hold. Whoop, there it is the quintessential 90s phrase, and we see it front and centre of the MOM representatives here.
Mm-hmm.
King tells us that when Mabel was a baby, he had to be baptised at SeaWorld.
Oh, yeah, he did hear that, actually.
The big goof whoops to the crowd before signalling a throat slash at the prone Pierre. However, he simply makes the tag, which is odd, but then they drop dual elbow shortly after. Before I go into the rest of the match, I need to just gauge your opinion on this. For WrestleMania, these two tag teams were deemed to be the ones going for the titles.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
I haven't really... Because I know by the time we get to the end, we'll just be talking about what you thought of the match. But what did you think of these two teams?
Well, obviously I'd never heard of Men on a Mission before. Ever.
That makes me so happy. That really makes me so happy.
So I was a bit like... And I think because obviously we're marching through the Manias, we're not watching like the stuff in between it.
Yeah, exactly.
Not yet, anyway. So like, I haven't seen them turn up anywhere yet. So I'm literally like, oh, cool. So they just breeze into a Mania match. I don't know. And then the Quebecers we've seen before. Well, we've seen what's his name? Tash.
Jacques Rougeau.
Yeah.
This is non-Tash.
Yeah, you can only go by Tash or non-Tash.
So this is non-Tash.
Non-Tash.
This is the one that punched Dynamite Kid in the face.
Oh yes, in that story.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just
two goofy ass teams.
This is a beer match.
Two goofy ass teams.
Beer run.
Imagine you're saying that after, in this era, the women's match.
Yeah, true actually.
Says a lot, and these are what you've got your tag team titles on. As the ref slowly gets Mabel out of the ring, Jacques interferes, stamping away on Mo. No tag is made as Pierre simply rolls outside and the ref accepts it and the match continues. Pierre uses the ring rope to choke Mo as Mabel is goaded into stepping into the ring by Jacques. Tag to Pierre sees Jacques body slam Mo before backdropping his own partner into a senton. Nice move, which gets a near fall.
Yeah.
Fan of that. Mo is dismissively thrown to the floor, and much like what just happened, Jacques backdrops Pierre over the top into a senton on the standing Mo.
Yeah.
Again, that was a fun spot, and Vince says he's never seen anything like that before. Mm-hmm. Do you know what? Even now, I don't know if I've often really... Because I saw that and went, oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And I was actually thinking, oh, God, I hope I... Like, weirdly, I was thinking, I know who's in this match. I hope I don't enjoy this. Because
Yes.
I shouldn't.
Yes.
I'm aware I shouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Back in the ring, and a cover only gets two. Double team guillotine on Mo after Jacques gets the tag leads to another near fall. Let's Go Mo is probably the only time we will hear this chant at a WrestleMania in our reviews, and potentially ever. Pierre back in but misses a clothesline, and Mo hits a running standing senton to knock the Quebecer down. Yeah, that was quite good actually. Do you know the bit I'm talking about where he runs at him and does the forward roll as he's standing there?
Yeah, no, I lost my notes for a while and now I'm back to
All good.
it. Thank you.
Mo nears a tag but is cut off just in time by Jacques, who then slaps Mabel, causing the big man to re-enter. Sounds threatening. Body slam to... Hey, big man, do you want to re-enter?
Slapping a re-enter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the Holly trademarks.
Oh my god.
Body slam to Mo and Pierre goes to the top but finds no water in the pool on a leg drop attempt. Finally, Mabel is tagged in, and he has clotheslines for both champions. If you could see the look that Holly is... She's not looking at me. I can see she's looking at her phone out my peripherals, and she's shaking her head and occasionally putting her hand to her mouth.
You put these things in there that just paint me in such a bad picture.
And what you're saying is I should just allow you to do that yourself?
Yes.
Fine. Understood.
I do it well enough myself.
Finally, Mabel is tagged in and he has a clothesline for both champions. Back body drop for Pierre, but weirdly, out of the three he has been hit with, this is the first from an opponent. Mm-hmm. Bossman slam to Jacques, but the big man misses on a corner charge at Pierre. Mm-hmm. Double team suplex fails miserably on the first attempt, but the second time of asking, they manage to get Mighty Meaty over.
Yes, they do, but they don't do anything about it, really.
No, they don't. That would have been a great name for the tag team, Mighty Meaty.
Yeah.
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 Or Ministry of Meat.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing. That's what they're now. That's what they are now. Yeah, Ministry of Meat.
Well, in all of my notes, they're mum, as in MOM.
Yeah, so. The American mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. The assisted top rope senton by the Quebecers get a 2. Now, with the way that they were lying on the floor, I was like, this isn't the right angle for this move. And he has to kind of carry him a little bit whilst it's almost gymnastic-like. Mm. So the assisted top rope senton by the Quebecers gets a 1-2 no. Mabel powers out. Pierre with a series of rights have Mabel swaying, but he fires back and drops Pierre just before Jacques leaps onto his back with rabbit punches. Mm-hmm. Mabel ducks a right from Pierre, causing him to hit Jacques, and the world's shittest yet most brutal looking wheel kick lands on Jacques but no cover.
Yeah.
Who knew the big boy could fly like that? It's more like just a big stone going down a mountainside. Eventually he's going to get some air because he jumps off something. Yeah. Mo gets the tag and they hit an assisted splash on Jacques, but the ref is distracted with Johnny Polo, who has his leg. Oscar has hold on Johnny Polo too. Second miscommunication sees Pierre land on Jacques before Mo sends him over the ropes with a clothesline. Assisted splash on Pierre on the floor as Polo pulls Jacques out of the ring, and the Quebecers have been counted out.
Snore.
I hate a non-finish at WrestleMania.
Me
Shouldn't
too.
happen. Despite winning the match, the Ministry of Meat have not won the titles, despite them raising them in the ring.
Okay, thank you, because this really confused me, because I was like, but that's not how you win a belt. Why have they got them, and why aren't they being taken off them? This was a shit show for me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. What's your rating?
1.
1.25. You're in the wheelhouse of Dave again. You've aligned.
Ooh, I don't know if that's bad or good, I'll be honest.
A couple of moments in the match I thought were all right, so I'll give 1.5 actually.
Yeah.
I think for mainly Pierre's work, if I'm being brutally honest.
Yes.
It's time, Holly. Another WrestleMania moment. I know you've been gagging for this one.
Oh,
the next Mania moment we see centres around WrestleMania 6 and the title versus title match between Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, where we are reminded that nobody is unbeatable. Shots at Hogan, who's left the company. Now we get some guest celebrities.
Don't we?
Were you excited, or did you not give a flying fuck as I did?
I didn't really care, but at least I knew who, these people were. Well, one of them anyway.
Rhonda Shear is announced as a special timekeeper, and Donnie Wahlberg is the special ring announcer.
Good old Donnie.
Donnie Wahlberg now introduces us to the special guest referee for the upcoming match, Mr. Perfect.
A walking barcode.
Who had been away for some time to recover from injuries.
Okay.
Perfect comes out wearing a referee play suit, which makes me think he looks like a cartoon prisoner, but God help me, the entrance music is still great.
It is great. What injury was he repairing from?
He's always had back issues.
Okay.
Really bad back issues. Even like with some of his earlier stuff with Bret Hart, Intercontinental title, it's something that just basically continually plagued his career and was always an ongoing issue for him.
Do you know what would have been good? Is if
this match didn't happen?
His special guest ref outfit was a black and white striped unitard singlet.
I think that would have been too distracting.
Well, I would happily have looked at him over...
Yeah, we know you hog-watched him when he first appeared at WrestleMania. Well, we discussed it on the show.
Yes, but that's because he was wearing fluorescent colours. If you're going to wear fluorescent lime green and yellow, you can see what's going on.
And you could see the circumference of his ding-dong.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, moving on.
And what match is he the special guest referee for?
This one.
Did you have any idea what was happening in terms of the WWF title with regards to why this was happening now? What was happening later?
What do you think?
Well, they mentioned a lot of it on the show, so I don't know what you pick up and what you don't.
This one, actually, I didn't pick up a lot of outside noise, weirdly.
Okay. Yeah, fair.
If you know what I mean. I was just focused on
what
was actually going on,
what was put in front of you. Okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
We know I have a bad attention span.
Well, yeah. So Yokozuna with Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette versus Lex Luger with a special ref, Mr. Perfect, for the WWF title. Brace yourselves. With this match, what were your expectations?
Really, really low.
Good.
I put, well, this won't last long.
Oh, I wish it didn't.
I assumed it wouldn't because it's Yokozuna. He can't really last that long.
No, he blows up.
Or it's like, if it's long, I know it's going to be shite because there's going to be about 20 breaks in between.
Fair.
Lex Luger, I just can't get into it either.
Really, you're not a fan of Lex?
No.
You're not on the Lex Express?
And were they trying to make him the next Hogan? Because he comes out very patriotic, is that the word?
Yes.
Which Hogan, I guess, would have done with his music and all that jazz, but no.
So yeah, ultimately Vince's original idea was to make Lex Luger into the next Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
There was a void created without Hulk Hogan, and Vince, in his head, goes, I know Hulk Hogan works. I need my next Hulk Hogan. So he went from the narcissist. Well, originally it was the WBF bodybuilding stuff to the narcissist to the Lex Express. He was given his own tour coach to go around the country called the Lex Express. He first kind of emerged as a face by going on, I think it was a ship called the Intrepid, where they held a show in the summer, and one of the things that they were doing at the time was for Yokozuna to basically Mr. Fuji or Jim Cornette, whoever was with him, would say, anyone come out here and try and body slam my Yokozuna. Duggan was one of the first to try, failed. Lex Luger was the first person to come and do it, but he was a heel at the time. He landed on the ship in a helicopter, came out in full like American gear, marched into the ring, slammed him, cheer, he's a face. So that's how they kind of went for the transition from bad guy to good guy with Lex. The issue being is that the fans weren't fully behind the Lex experiment, which kind of leads us to the 94 Royal Rumble. I won't tell you how that ends, but there was basically what the company wanted to do was to see who got a louder reaction, because Vince was still wanting to do Lex Luger. So they basically had it come down between Luger and Bret.
Right.
And they wanted to see who the fans cheered for more.
Yeah.
Open and shut case, Bret the Hitman Hart wins. We see how that unfolds at WrestleMania. Had it gone the other way...
Right. Okay.
Who knows what would have happened. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they had to do this whole thing at WrestleMania to work out who would be the first one to go up against Yokozuna. So Yokozuna, well, he wasn't guaranteed to have two matches, because if he lost the first one, I guess the main event would have been Lex against Bret. Yeah. With Lex going up against first, I think it was whoever had the first shot at Yoko, the other person had to have a different match. So that's why Bret and Owen have their match, because they didn't want Bret to be fresh, going up against someone who'd already had a match. So that's the way they worked it.
Okay.
I don't like this in terms of... I just want to see the one title match. I don't want to see... And as bad as it sounds, I don't like the cash-ins at WrestleMania either. Even though it was a great moment, like when Seth Rollins did it. Yes. And a very much less great moment when Damian Priest did it. Yeah. I don't like it. I just want to see it straight at WrestleMania. I get it though. I do.
Give them their moment as well. Yeah.
Which it gives the person who cashes in a good moment, but it just kind of feels like that kind of took away from what was built up the whole time. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I wasn't a fan of this, and at this time I couldn't have been more in Bret Hart's corner if I tried. Yeah. I did not like Lex Luger. Okay. Didn't like. Not even like he's okay. Didn't like him.
Yeah. There's something about him. For me, that obviously I don't know really any background much at all, but for some reason I just don't gel to like watching him.
He plays a key role in the next show we're watching. Does not he? WrestleMania 11, although he is in that as well, to be fair. Okay.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah, he does.
Interesting. Okay.
So Yokozuna is announced as being £568.
Sure.
Which would mean he has put on £63 since last year, which normally I'd say is bullshit, but yeah, I'll buy that for $1.
Okay.
Vince comments on Mr. Fuji struggling to get up the stairs, suggesting he's still feeling the effects of Randy Savage, ignoring the fact he's a rickety old dodderer.
This is totally not in relation to what you've just said, but the Hogan comparison, this for me had it as well, because they also had the champ come out first, and then Luger came out. I mean, he came out to screams from all the women, but it was very heavily high-pitched screams for him, which is very noticeable. But I thought, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, I've got a comment on Lex when we get to it in a second. So Vince then says, look at the size of this mammoth, when talking about Yoko, which I actually quite liked as a description. Yeah. And look at that number on Jim Cornette. Liberace couldn't touch this one. Sensational bit of business right there. It's a cross between Dracula, Liberace and Freddie Mercury. It has it all and offers no apologies.
That's such a good little comparison, though. It's actually the three of them combined together. What I didn't understand...
Tennis racket?
Were the aeroplane coming into park things that he had. Yeah.
It was a tennis racket.
Yeah. Like
his whole thing was a tennis racket. So I have to go back a bit for Jim Cornette. So Jim Cornette... started off, he was kind of like a photographer. He was a massive fan of wrestling growing up. he eventually transitioned to manager. He even became backroom office. He had stints where he was working on creative in WWF. He was working creative TNA. He was working creative Ring of Honor. So he covered like he owned Smoky Mountain Wrestling. That was his promotion. His whole character was the posh mama's boy who used to come from a well-to-do background, country club, and the whole thing was the tennis racket.
Okay.
Was his weapon of choice. Now you think, how much damage can a tennis racket do, right? And if you hit someone like bang on with the strings, you know, for the most part, it sounds good. Especially if you've got that cover on, it sounds really good, but it doesn't actually do damage. I know that because, and I'll segue to a story in a second because it doesn't matter. But yeah, Jim Cornette has genuinely hurt people with this racket.
Okay.
One of them being a fan. So a fan at a show, I think, jumped the guardrail, started to make a motion to him. Cornette swung the racket edge first at him. Gash erupted on his head.
Wow.
It nearly turned into a damn near riot. They took the guy out of the arena. The security guards weren't exactly like, they were like rent-a-cops basically.
Okay.
The guy then with the head injury managed to stagger his way back into the arena and started making a beeline for him again. It was like a whole thing. Like they had to quickly finish the match, go backstage, and then they had to leave because they know what it was like. And basically the report said that Jim Cornette attacks fan in the crowd, and he's like, I didn't fucking attack him in the crowd. He came out and was like, and it turns out, unfortunately, the guy had a mental disability.
Oh, okay.
But I get it in that situation. You can't think and go, because at that point you go, oh, does he have a knife? Is he a threat? You just go, what the bang, like that. And so now the reason I know why the tennis racket makes a good sound and doesn't hurt as much, because so in year 6, going into, so it's the final year in the English school system. For anyone that doesn't know, year 6 is considered primary school, and then year 7 is what you guys would call high school. So we don't have a high school, it's like middle school and high school combined. So we're going into that age group. They did this thing annually where it was like a talent show at school, and you all had to find something and do some sort of performance or something of that nature. I'm a wrestling fan, Holly.
Yeah.
A couple of the guys there might have been loosely interested in wrestling. I said, let's do wrestling. So, it happened.
Wow.
So, and we thought, what can we use for a weapon instead of a chair? Because this would have been, 2000, 2001? Peak Attitude Era. Everyone's getting hit with chairs.
Yeah, true.
And I thought, because I played tennis, I was like, tennis racket. Because when it's got the cover on, it makes like a thwack noise. And I can't remember who my opponent was, but I was Kane.
Okay.
So we did a paper mask.
Oh my God, stop.
With eye holes, and I put that on, choke slamming, stuff like that, because I was one of the taller kids back then, so I could kind of do that kind of stuff. And we put on a comedy match.
That's hilarious.
And we had the third guy be like the cameraman / referee. And I don't remember
how easy was his fucking job. That's brilliant.
Oh no, he fell over. He had pratfalls as well. He had pratfalls. And so I remember the end of it. So the guy I was working with was like, he still does gymnasts and martial arts and stuff now. So he's a talented guy. I chokeslammed him, so I genuinely got him properly high in the air, and he was holding himself up on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Slammed him down. I remember the ending was then I go for a pin. He sneezes on the floor and kicks me straight in the bollocks, and then I fall down. Then he just puts his arm over me, and that's the end of the match.
Okay.
And I remember it went down really well. And then the best few acts from each class went to do it in this final performance. And we were told that we need to have even number of girls groups to guy groups, and so they said, you can't do the final. They went, actually, it was really funny, so you guys can go as well. So final, there was no award or anything I remember, so we got to do it twice in front of the whole school. And I remember being really nervous. But yeah, so I was briefly Kane.
So did he hit you with a racket then?
No, I hit him.
Oh.
And the cameraman.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I just had to make sure that I hit them square on because I didn't want to, if I caught them with the edge, that would have been painful.
That's so fun, mate.
But they made a great noise and genuinely didn't hurt at all, because I let them do it to me as well. But part of speaking of the leaving, so I'm segueing fucking fierce here. We actually had to do a proper leaving performance assembly. And we did one for the parents and did it for the school, etc. And it was just a tradition every year that the leaving group would do that. And I remember part of it we were doing through the decades, and our form got the 60s. And like, because there's only so many people in a class, we had to all fill different kind of roles. And it can't have been the 60s. Anyway, but I ended up doing... I played Martin Luther King in the... Let's not scratch at that scab, because I did a voice, basically.
Okay.
I was the only one willing to put on an American accent.
Okay.
And that qualified me to do the I Have a Dream.
Right.
Which is outrageous when you think about it.
Wow.
But it was just doing the decade stuff. And it was well received. We had like a pretend fight between Muhammad Ali and someone else, etc. And then we did a Mods and Rockers scene.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like a brawl, a scuffle that we're supposed to have. And one of my mates is, and this was in the rehearsal for it, he jumps on my back and he's supposed to use like a metal ruler, which is supposed to be like a weapon because we didn't have anything. And he's supposed to hit me with it and I like go down. Well, he caught me with it clean. He didn't like pull the swing. And I just remember hitting the floor. Like he knocked me properly loopy with that and I just bounced off face first off the wooden floor and the metal ruler broke. So he fucking hit me hard with it.
Oh my god.
The live thing, fine. But yeah. So
hilarious.
You have to make up your own little scenarios for these things. But yeah, so there you go.
So funny.
I don't think you knew that story,
No,
did you?
I didn't, no.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
Every day is a school day.
And it's much more entertaining than this match, I'll tell you that for free. I've kind of covered over it before, but I've got a proper version of that story. Not the one I just gave you now, but relating to the match we're watching. So, Holly, you might be asking yourself, how do we get to a situation where there are 2 announced WWF title matches at WrestleMania 10? Well, simply put, Vince wasn't entirely sure which horse to back between Lex Luger and Bret Hart. I've given it away here, but with both men winning the Royal Rumble, the Federation wanted to listen to the fan reaction to see who would be the golden boy to lead the WWF into the future. Come WrestleMania 10, the decision had been made that at the end of the night, by the end of the night, all became clear based on who left with the title at the close of the show. A very stony-faced Lex makes his way to the ring as Vince is positively creaming himself over Lex Luger and the prospect of him becoming the champion. Ugh. But Lex, to me, looks miserable. Yeah. Looks fucking miserable. He's not happy. Doesn't look happy at all to me.
No.
We even see a little bit of ceiling pyro for the challenger as he enters the ring. As Ronda rings the bell, we hear a USA chant carry through the arena.
Yep.
Lawler makes a cracking point about what America is. He says America is about putting Arabian oil into Japanese cars. Yeah? Have you ever seen that clip of that British guy? He's bald, he's got a goatee, and they said, what is it to be British to you? And he said, it's about going home, sitting in my Swedish furniture in front of my Japanese TV, drinking my Colombian coffee, waiting for my Indian takeaway to arrive, all the while moaning that British... And it's like, I thought it was brilliant. And this is just kind of a little reminder for me of that. So the 2 men square up to one another and Yoko starts pointing a meaty digit into the chest of Luger, who continues to swat his hand away. As the champ loads up with a right, however, Lex is prepared, blocks it and hits with one of his own. Luger manages to duck a clothesline of a reverse whip and hits a screaming one of his own that staggers Yoko, but his second attempt is thwarted as the champ levels him with a clothesline instead. The wow!
Yeah, you don't like the noises, do you?
No, it's ridiculous. It's the Backlund one is the oh. That one. No, I hate them both. Big elbow drop misses and Lex is back on the offense with right sending Yoko to the floor. A double axe handle off the apron connects, but Yoko strikes him and looks to ram Luger's face into the steps. No such luck though, as it's blocked and it is the champ that eats the steel.
Twice.
Make that twice. Oh, okay. No, I thought you were going to say drink.
Steps.
It has to be the ring post.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Only the ring post.
Back in the ring, and Luger goes up top, hitting a flying crossbody.
I would have welcomed drinking at this
I bet you would have.
To be fair, actually, I did.
Try stopping you.
Yep.
Yoko barely gets the shoulder up off the count of 2. Turns out Luger loves to scream when dishing out offense as well as taking it, as he roars on a leaping elbow that connects for a near fall. Throat chop by Yoko shifts momentum and he chokes Luger over the second rope. Vince is trying to tell Lawler how good the champ is, and the King says, "You don't have to tell me, it's these hundreds of thousands of idiots here." I'll be honest, pretty quick to call the fans in the arena idiots if you think there's hundreds of thousands of them. Luger ducks a wild right and attempts a body slam, but like Andre on Hogan, the big man falls on top and we see a 2 count.
Mm-hmm.
Big headbutt from Yoko and we get a "How!" as Luger eats the buckles. The champ is now untying the top buckle off to reveal the steel.
Oh, so we all know what happens. Stupid.
Lex fires back with rights but gets swatted back to the canvas. Yoko mounts Lex with a double trap hold as the crowd start chanting USA once more.
Mm-hmm.
Vince says Yokozuna is riding him and he isn't far off. The hold is going on for an eternity.
Isn't it just?
And I expect Holly has retrieved a drink and chocolate at this time.
Do you know what? And I actually had both. I had Freddos. Finally, I got them back.
Nice.
So I did have Freddos and a Prosecco while we were watching this in different places at different times.
How was your birthday anyway? Good?
It was lovely, thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't get any Freddos sent into the show. So
very upsetting.
I know, maybe next year, eh? Finally, Lex starts making a move to rise and he elbows free when he gets to his feet. He builds ahead of momentum off the ropes but runs right into a sumo-shaped wall.
Mm-hmm.
Lawler says, "Nice little shot to those ribs," and Yokozuna is immediately looking for a plate.
Stop it.
Yoko threatens to strike perfect as he's admonished before going back on the attack. Perhaps a dozen overhand chops on Luger before once more the dreaded trap hold is applied.
Snore.
We see that Yoko looks to have a busted lip and Jim Cornette is very happy with how the champ is dominating.
The trap hold, that's the I'm taking a break move, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the I'm blowing out my arse move.
Fucking annoying.
Lex rolls back into the ring but is chopped down to the canvas for a third trap hold.
Boo.
No, I've missed it. After a prolonged period, Yoko tosses Luger to the floor where Mr. Fuji immediately kicks him out of the view of Mr. Perfect. Lex rolls back into the ring but is chopped down to the canvas for a third trap hold.
Mm-hmm.
The camera trains in on the champ as he is clearly calling the spots to Luger.
Mm-hmm.
He's just talking to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
They return to their feet as Lex looks to build some momentum with right hands, but one overhand strike from the champion drops him hard. We now see a fourth... Oh, these noises Holly's making.
It's so fucking dull.
Yeah. We now see a fourth trap hold and Holly has fallen asleep. Holly.
Oh, asleep? Asleep. Ugh, awake. I quite happily would have had it finished.
I was talking about you. Let's get back to the match. Back to his feet and Lex elbows free before ducking 2 clothesline attempts and running right into a big belly-to-belly suplex.
Mm-hmm.
Yoko looks to ram... What?
My next comment. Why are we not just pinning and getting this shit finished?
Yoko looks to ram Luger's face into the exposed buckle, but it's blocked and the big man eats the steel instead.
Mm-hmm.
Lex gets his boot up in the corner and hits a clothesline that sways Yoko, as does a second, before a third one drops him, and it's swiftly followed up by an ugly, albeit impressive, body slam.
Just... Ugh. This was painful for me.
Good body slam, was it?
No. Let's be clear, do I think I could do a better job? That's not what I'm saying.
I 100% could. Because he's dead.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't look at it and go, oh, I could do this better, but I just look at it and go, this is fucking boring.
Just because they can do it better.
For me personally.
Or sorry, just because you can't do it better doesn't mean it is good.
No, this really drained
like,
me of life.
If someone was doing brain surgery and fucked up and the person died, I wouldn't go, well, I couldn't do better, so that's shit, he died.
Yeah.
Like, let's...
Okay, I get what you're saying. But
that's such an extreme example, but yeah. Luger now signals for the forearm and connects with it, knocking Yoko down. So my question is, if you've got a loaded forearm, why the fuck are you dicking around with clotheslines? Twat him with that.
Straight away.
He's hit him with like 3 clotheslines up to this point. Just hit him with that.
Mm-hmm.
Bell end. Cornette is straight on the apron and is slingshotted into the ring where he eats a right hand. Do you enjoy the slingshot?
I do like a slingshot. That's the peak of this match.
That's a drink as well, isn't it?
What, a slingshot?
Singapore slingshot.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
Or I've just sent some sort of sex move there and I'm pretty sure it's a drink.
Maybe it's both.
Well, it could be, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. You go to like Singapore and you go, hey, can I have a Singapore slingshot? You don't know what you're getting.
They lead you into a back room and tie you up.
You might have your fucking dick stapled to your ass or something. I don't know what the fuck it is. Fuji takes 3 years to enter the other side of the ring and gets a knee and an elbow to the back of the head. Mm-hmm. He falls down as if he has no knee joints whatsoever, like completely rigid. Yeah. Like he's got, was it the calipers on?
Oh, I see what you're saying, like the Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Lex makes the cover, but Perfect is dicking around trying to get Cornette out of the ring, ignoring the pin. Did it actually make you laugh?
It did, because I literally was like, of course.
And
of
I was
course, this is fucking happening.
I was like, he's been trained by fucking Earl Hebner. Eh?
But I have put a note that says, assume this leads to a Lex and Perfect thing.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Oh, okay.
Lex makes the cover, but Perfect is dicking around, as I've said. Luger grabs him and goes back to the pin, but Perfect now goes to tend to Mr. Fuji, once more ignoring the pin. Luger gets up and shoves Perfect, who calls for the bell and a disqualification.
Yep.
What an absolutely horseshit finish. Nobody came out of this one looking good. The initial plan was for Luger to begin a feud with Mr. Perfect after WrestleMania, but that would never materialise.
Oh.
Lex looks in disbelief on his knees in the middle of the ring, and the crowd are quickly chanting bullshit. Star rating.
Right, so...
Thoughts and star rating, please.
I gave it 1.25, which for me is generous for this absolute shit show of a match. The only reason I gave it 1.25 is I have 2 points which completely contradict each other, and I've put impressed it lasted so long with the big guy able to actually move for so long. The next point says I'm disappointed it lasted so long. Totally contradicted myself.
As were the sighted world. It was impressive, no, like athletically, with big air quotations, that he didn't die.
Yes.
But
also, I like
whispering. We're on a podcast, Solly. Whispering, they still hear it.
I like.
Yes, he's fat. Yes.
I say like is also a push. I hate the ending. Like it's stupid. But because I thought this was going to lead to obviously something which you just said doesn't happen, the fact that Luger marches off after Perfect and they have a big old Barney, that I thought was good. Because, great, that's going to lead to something and maybe it'll actually be decent, but alas not.
Big Dave score, 0.5 stars.
Fine.
I cannot go higher than that.
No, fine.
I found it tedious.
I think I scored it so high because I was happy it finished.
Yeah, that's a weird way of looking at it, isn't it?
I don't know what I was
I like
thinking.
how you change your parameters for your grading criteria.
Yeah, I don't really know what I was thinking.
On a match-by-match basis. I thought you were going to say 0 stars. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was wank, but... yeah, I don't really know why I've given it so high. Maybe I'd had many a Prosecco by that point.
So she was wankered, is what we've heard there.
If only.
Yes.
If only. Oh, I've lost all my notes. There they are.
Backstage, as you said, Todd Pettingale interviews Mr. Perfect. As Mr. Perfect makes his way backstage, Todd asks how he could do what he did. Perfect defends his action, saying he was calling it down the middle. And, well, he was up until the end. Lex storms backstage and shoves a camera before confronting Perfect, asking for one good reason. One good reason! Give me one good reason! Perfect says about attacking the managers and laying his hands on an official. Speaking of which, a sea of them have descended onto the scene to try and separate the two men. Some are clearly standing on boxes.
Yeah, because otherwise they're like 12 foot tall, and we know they're not.
Exactly. On commentary, Vince says Luger was robbed, but Lola disagrees.
Yes. Oh.
WrestleMania moment.
No, not this one.
We're now on WrestleMania 7, where we talk about the blindfold match between Jake Roberts and Rick Martel. Another occasion where Holly has had to suppress a memory. It's like a, hey Holly, remember when you fucking hated this?
Yes, it really is, isn't it?
I feel like they were calling out to you personally at a certain point.
Wow.
Speaking of shit, Harvey Whippleman and the Fink. The Fink introduces Harvey Whippleman, who quickly takes the mic from him. Harvey calls the Fink ugly, with big ears, a monkey face and banana nose, and then also slams into his suit, which he rips the pocket off from.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
He also managed to get in a dig about New York before the Fink shoves him on his backside, and Adam Bomb has hit the ring and grabbed the Fink by the lapels.
Okay.
What?
Should I know who that is?
No, he's a wrestler. It's first time seeing him.
Okay, good, thank you.
Earthquake is there to make the save, and it looks, Holly, like we have a match on our hands.
No, we don't. We don't. This is a fucking shit show.
Before we go into that, so Adam Bomb, bit of background for you. He would later go on to become a tag team worker with the former Crush as Chronic in WCW.
All right.
When they came to the WWF, the reason you're like, well, I don't remember them back in the WWF, is because they weren't there for long. They were deemed to be shite, jobbed out to Kane and The Undertaker, and then fucked off into the hills. But yeah,
okay.
That was where Adam Bomb went from here. Adam Bomb's still alive, Crush very much dead.
Okay.
This is the shortest match, by the way. I think even Heenan and the Red Rooster got more notes than this.
Ooh.
Adam Bomb with Harvey Whippleman versus Earthquake.
Yes.
After hitting Bomb from behind the bell, so no.
Oh, okay, from behind the bell.
Hello.
Ooh.
After it punched through
night.
the legs, well, for you. After hitting Bomb from behind the bell.
Oh my God.
After hitting Bomb from behind, the bell sounds and Earthquake hits a big belly-to-belly suplex.
Mm-hmm.
The big man then picks Bomb up and walks around the ring with him slowly before delivering a power slam. That's impressive.
Mildly impressive.
We now get the tremors before Earthquake hits the rope and connects with an aftershock for the 1, 2, 3. Aftershock, also a drink.
His crotch dick area was so close to this guy's face. Ugh.
Basically, taste the cheese.
Yes.
Well, that happened. I guess that was a match.
Yeah, cool. Moving on. Oh, fucking nothing. Absolute zero.
Big Dave's score, 0 stars. My score, 0 stars. First time I think we've all agreed.
Yes, I know.
That's amazing. Thanks, Earthquake.
Wow. Oh.
Now we get Todd Pesingale, who's interviewing the champ's entourage.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Todd is waiting to speak to Yokozuna, but instead Jim Cornette marches into screen. And I'll give this man all the credit in the world. He's a fucking great promo. He
Very
really
good.
is.
Yeah.
And says that we should all be concerned about who has the championship. No, I'm going to start that again because that doesn't make sense. So we'll try that again. Jim Cornette marches into screen and says that all we should be concerned about is who has the championship, and refers to Todd as petting zoo, which is just wonderful. Yoko shoves Todd, which is equally wonderful. Cornette is cutting a very passionate promo about why Bret Hart will not walk out as the WWF champion. Yoko's eyes keep flicking off camera and imagine he's looking at catering. No sooner have I written this, Cornette shouts, "He's hungry!" and refers to Yoko as the shark, the ring as the ocean, and Bret will be the blood poured in that kicks off the feasting frenzy, and I can't imagine many things scarier than Yoko feeding frenzy.
Okay, fair.
I'm hungry. I'm genuinely quite hungry.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to lunch after this, actually.
Oh.
The entire time Cornette is talking, Todd is standing there with a lobotomised look on his face that he is leaking, like he's leaking brain... But
Oh, are you okay?
I'm leaking brain fluid.
Oh, that's
So
what
I'm
you were
just
trying to say?
That is what I was trying to say. But he's literally... If you ever go back and watch it, he's got...
Oh, he's not focused on anything.
No.
He's like zoned out.
He's completely gone.
Whereas
Completely
you've
with
got
the
Mr.
fairies.
Fuji in the background, just a floating head, smiling his head off. So happy at life.
Yes, because he's not running.
Yes, he's not done a 5k.
Oh, God. And maybe he found his knees. He found his kneecaps backstage and put them on. That might have been even slightly funny if I hadn't fucked up at every possible turn in this part, but we live and we learn. Yoko shouts bonsai, and we go to another WrestleMania moment. WrestleMania 8 and the awesome appearance of The Undertaker. That's literally it.
Fuck
me.
That's it.
Why
So
didn't you have him
weird.
beating Jake the Snake? You just showed Jake the WrestleMania before, so you're not afraid to show him.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand.
Also, WrestleMania 8.
There was
To be fair,
was there much more to see?
Flair Savage.
Oh, yeah.
But Flair was
But
back
he'd
in
already-
WCW.
And Savage had already had his flashback.
Exactly, so I think they were trying to mix it up.
Oh, well. Just don't show one.
Yeah, but we've got one more. You know we've got one more. Now, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
what we have upcoming here
Mm.
is something that both I personally was very much looking forward to seeing. Jamie has very much enjoyed seeing in the past.
Okay.
I've already seen it in the past myself, but
Yeah.
we were both very excited to see
Oh, were you?
how you react to this. From WrestleMania 1 we're talking. We've been looking forward to
Really?
seeing you watch this match.
Oh, okay.
I wanted you to see the Owen and Brett match
Yeah.
because I still think that's potentially the best opening pay-per-view match of all time to
Okay.
this day. When you were aware, because in the show they mentioned that Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon were having a match, so you knew that was happening.
Yes, I did hope it was a jelly match, but alas.
Yeah, not with that mullet. When you saw the ladder,
Yes.
talk to me about it. Talk to me, Goose.
So I think I even texted you.
You did.
Because they might have mentioned it. I don't know if they do, but as I've already said, I didn't pay a lot of attention to outside noise when I was watching
They
it.
mentioned the match. I don't know if they mentioned the ladder.
I don't think they mentioned a stipulation.
I don't think
for
they
it.
did.
So the first thing I know about it is when it focuses on the belts hanging off, I don't know what you would call it, but hanging from the ceiling effectively. And I literally went, oh shit. No. And I literally was like, surely not. Because I don't know why, but I don't think...
This is too soon.
Oh yeah, I was like, Really?
Well, this is 94.
Yeah.
The ladder matches you're thinking of started in
like later.
99, 2000.
So I was like, okay. And then I got nervous. Then I was like, oh, is it going to be awful? So I just went head first into it.
But you were thinking that there was a chance.
Yeah.
It had a chance.
Yeah.
As pleased as I am to see this match, unfortunately we still have to bear witness to the stanky Michaels mullet.
It's so big at this
gross.
point. So big.
I'm trying to think of the next WrestleMania. He's got it sorted by the next one, I think, just.
Okay.
Though. And then he's fine after that.
Okay.
And in every description of the word fine that you're probably
Fine.
thinking. Yeah, exactly. Shawn with his bodyguard Diesel.
Oh, yeah, this was so funny to me to see Kevin Nash young.
Yep.
Because I've only really seen him, I think even when I saw him in WWF and stuff, he was of age already.
He was old, yep.
And then obviously I've seen him in Magic Mike, and he is old in that. But yeah, so this was funny to actually see him properly.
You get a lot of we'll get a lot of Kevin Nash over the months and years of doing this show, I'm sure. He's actually in one particular film he was in. I thought he was very funny. Have you seen The Longest Yard?
Yeah, I love that film.
Do you remember his role in that?
Oh, I haven't seen it in a long time.
He was one of the security guards, or the prison guards, excuse me, and they basically suggested that his character was on steroids and they replaced it with the estrogen, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
And then he started popping them, and then he starts this one point where he's dancing all stuff, and I think there was another scene where two of the guys start shouting at each other. He starts crying.
I love that
being
film.
so mean.
Oh, I might have to dig that out and watch that
It's
this
a
weekend.
really
I
good
love
film.
That.
Really good film. A lot of wrestlers in that. Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Great Khali.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay. Holly.
Yes.
Actually, no.
Oh.
Jumping the gun. So with Diesel, they make their way to the ring, but Shawn doesn't walk under the ladder. Superstition. Signals he's not going to do that. Slides past the fans. Yeah. Holly. Thoughts on Michael's gear right here?
Great. You knew it was coming. He's perfect. He's spot on.
No, he was earlier.
It's spot on for him. And his the Heartbreak Kid and all that. It's just brilliant. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
What about the glasses?
Oh yeah, they're so stupid, but it works.
The glasses are stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
The mullet.
it works,
I can't get
though.
over the mullet. That's the thing. The gear's good. The mullet's shit.
The earrings were a bit much. But like I don't look here and I go, "Whoa!" I look here and I go, "It's coming." Like I know it's coming, but he's brilliant. This match tore me in two though. I'll be like, as in, I didn't know who to. You know, I said I always have to go with someone.
Yeah, there's always a horse to back.
Really, I had to pause before I started watching and go, right.
So who did you decide out the tearing into that it was going to be?
Well, he's not come out yet. I think you knew I would go for him as well.
I'll say it. At this time, I dare you to find me a cooler wrestler than Razor Ramon.
Oh, yeah.
Razor doesn't mess around with superstitions like Shawn and ducks right under the ladder with a smooth glide. Vince says Razor is dripping with gold. Lola says that I'll start again. Vince says Razor is dripping with gold. Lola says there is something dripping off his hair too. Holly is dripping, full stop. And I'm just a wet drip. So we're all bringing something to the party here.
Can you stop? Oh,
hey, I threw myself under the bus on this one too.
Oh, Jesus.
Was I wrong?
No.
There you go. Razor hands his chains to future ring announcer Tony Chimmel, warning him to take care before throwing his toothpick at him.
Yep.
After high-fiving Shawn, Diesel... What? No. I've worded this badly, but I know what I mean. After high-fiving Shawn, Diesel's instructed to leave the ring.
He's out of here.
Not quite.
Not yet.
No, don't worry, I've got that bit covered.
Oh.
The two men lock up and Shawn quickly transitions to a hammerlock. Reversal by Razor, but Shawn picks the leg before getting kicked off to the ropes. Hip toss attempt by Shawn is blocked, but he thumbs the eye.
Boom.
Flips over, but is planted with a choke slam. Okay. Well, that noise
There's going to be a lot of these noises coming.
Right hand by Razor before he whips Michaels off the ropes. Shawn ducks two clotheslines before hitting a swinging neck breaker of his own. As the camera goes to do a nice shot of running from the ladder to the ring, the bumbling tit known as Earl Hebner walks directly into the equipment.
Oh my God, yes, he does.
Because I was like, what the fuck is... Of course it's Hebner.
Of course it would be, yeah.
Any man, which he'll take a cameraman. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck. He's like, I'm getting my meat on meat connection. Tripping
Yeah.
over Brett, this.
Yeah.
Michaels eats the buckles before being knocked down with a shoulder tackle. On the second charge, Shawn sidesteps and sends the bad guy to the outside via the middle rope. Diesel takes a run up and clotheslines Razor when he gets back to his feet and stands over him. Hebner is talking to Diesel, who keeps saying, "Did you see something?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see something?"
Is that an impression?
as he spits. Hebner then makes the first good call we have ever seen him make by sending the fully sunglass-wearing, indoors-having-ass Diesel backstage.
Yeah.
Not allowed.
No, it's not.
I agree. As Shawn leans over the ropes, he's met with a big right from Razor from the floor,
Lovely.
sending him flying. Corner whip sends Michaels head over heels and he staggers into a clothesline that sends him over the top rope to the floor. On the outside, the bad guy exposes the concrete floor after landing a right hand, but Michaels stops him from going any further and they return to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn unloads with some strikes, but literally has the spit smacked out of him, courtesy of a stiff right hand from Razor. That's also a theme. Every time Michaels takes a big punch, boom, spits in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time. Razor signals for the Razor's Edge. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Michaels backdrops him over the ropes and to the exposed concrete below.
Of course, because that's what happened.
Of
you
course.
expose something, you're obviously going to be the one that goes into it. You know what I mean. Don't make it dirty.
I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in the match, we see a ladder in play as Shawn retrieves the one standing in the aisle. Also, the only one we ever see.
That did hit me as well, in a sense of I was like,
What if they broke it?
oh, well.
Still be wrestling today,
Well.
which will be difficult because one's dead. Before he can get it into the ring, Razor is behind him and punches him before rolling him back into the ring. Now Razor has the ladder and slides it into the ring, but as he reaches for the rope to climb back in, Michaels hits a baseball slide, sending the ladder crashing into the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Good move.
Yes.
On the outside, the bad guy eats the steel stairs. No drink. Now back in the ring, Shawn rams the ladder once more into the ribs of Razor.
Yep.
He follows this up by standing over him and driving the top into the midsection of the prone Razor, which I thought was actually quite a good look.
Yeah, it was.
Michaels now lifts the ladder above his head and drops it across the back of the bad guy, and it looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
Because this is proper workman's ladder, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not one of those fake ladders, I guess.
Yeah,
they
I don't know
use.
what
I don't know how you
PVC,
would-
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, but this looks like a proper.
Yeah.
We've taken it off the top of someone's truck outside.
Yeah, but I'm calling bullshit because Lola says, "Oh, that ladder must weigh £100." No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. If that wasn't enough, as Razor is draped over the ropes, Michaels tosses the ladder at him, and it lands side on, which actually makes me wince.
Mm-hmm.
With the ladder now set up, Shawn begins the climb, but Razor catches his ankle before yanking his tights down to reveal the smoothest arse on the face of the planet.
Brilliant. And you know what? I love that he just carries on.
Well,
On for about 30 seconds.
It's like Ric Flair loves getting his arse out.
But you
Just
just
Michaels.
hear screaming.
The women scream. Michaels kicks Razor down and then jumps from the ladder with an elbow drop before adjusting his gear. Did you boo?
Well, no, but
Okay. Body slam by the Heartbreak Kid, who has repositioned the ladder in the corner, climbs it, and in an iconic WrestleMania moment, throws himself for a splash from the third highest rung.
mm-hmm.
Good?
Very
The camera
good.
angle is very good as well, the way it catches it, I think.
Yeah.
With the ladder back in the middle, Shawn begins to climb once more, but Razor shakes the ladder before eventually toppling it over, causing Michaels to guillotine himself off the top rope, with more spit sent flying. Side headlock by Shawn is pushed off, and the two eventually crack heads hard and are down. Nice bird's eye camera view from the titles on both of the fallen competitors, I thought.
Yeah.
Shawn is the first back to his feet and sets the ladder against the buckles. His whip attempt is reversed and sends Michaels face first into the steel and over the top to the floor. Instead of now attempting to retrieve the gold, Razor takes the ladder to the floor and rams Michaels against the ring post with it.
Drink.
Not quite.
I'm taking it as a drink.
A second blow to the back sends Shawn face first into the other ring post.
Drink.
Yep. Propping the ladder against the apron, the bad guy catapults Shawn face first into the steel, and Shawn holds onto the ladder as he falls back, which is a nice little touch.
Yeah.
They're being quite creative with the ladder, because obviously
Yeah.
they don't really have a bedrock of previous matches to work
No.
from either. And we don't see a lot of these moves in other ladder matches either.
No, true actually.
Well, we see some, but like this one, I don't think recall ever seeing.
No.
I think is that good or bad? I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll see. Well, so you're not giving away even if you're enjoying it now? I know you're enjoying it, so you can cut the act. I know it's being enjoyed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Back in the ring, Razor drives the tip of the ladder into the face of Shawn, knocking him over the top and back to the floor.
Yeah.
Now it's Razor's turn to set up the ladder and climb. As he does so, Michaels is climbing the buckles and knocks him off with a double axe handle. However, as the ladder falls, it does so directly on the Heartbreak Kid. Lawler says if Shawn's able to get up from that, he deserves those belts and even more. Which is a very nice call from the King, actually.
Yeah.
More bird's eye shots of the action, and we now see both men setting the ladder from opposite sides, but they're both on their knees.
Yes, it does. It does.
It shows the struggle.
Yeah.
As they reach the top, they exchange strikes until Razor half body slam, half suplexes him from the top, and the ladder warps as he does so, twisting and also sending the bad guy down.
This looked, I think, because I assumed this was not meant to have happened this way, and the ladder obviously didn't go as planned. But when obviously Razor falls, to me, I literally went, oh, because if he's not prepared to fall, I was like, oh no, oh no. But you know, it is what it is.
As Ramon climbs, Shawn drop kicks the ladder, and that is enough to throw Razor off.
Doesn't really do anything, though, does it? Razor does willingly jump and take the ladder with him.
Both men are down.
Yes.
However, a brilliant touch by Shawn as he simply pushes the ladder over so it connects to the shoulder of Razor. Lucky that Razor was ready for that and didn't crack him in the back of the head.
Yes.
Back on their feet, and Michaels hits the sweet chin music on a charging Ramon. I believe it's now his finisher, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Remember I said it was the teardrop suplex before? It's now this. Shawn signals this is the end for Razor.
I don't like what comes next.
Okay, oh yeah. Shawn signals this is the end for Razor and mocks his taunt before setting up for what we think will be the Razor's edge, but instead he hits a dirty looking pile driver. Jumps and everything.
Oh, it looks horrendous.
It's about as well hit as you're ever going to see one.
Yeah.
From the corner, Michaels jumps from the top, riding the ladder into a splash on the bad guy, and it looks great.
Very good.
With Razor down, Shawn places the ladder over him and begins climbing to the title belts. Michaels gets his fingertips on the gold, and Holly's wincing for this, but Ramon is up, shaking the ladder.
Yeah.
The bad guy charges and shoulder barges the ladder, causing Michaels to fall and cleverly get his leg tied up in the ropes. Shawn is frantic and is wildly flailing around to try and get himself free as Ramon begins the climb. Just as he gets his leg free, in his haste, now he has tied his arm up in the same ropes. Razor uses all his weight to grab the titles and simply falls back to remove them, and he hits the canvas hard just as Shawn has freed himself and falls at the feet of the ladder himself. Razor is the undisputed Intercontinental Champion. What a match.
Do you think he was meant to fall off like that?
I think that's what he decided to do.
Because that... Oh my god.
No, I think that was just his way of deciding, because he could have looked a right twat if he came off without the belts.
Yes. Oh, I watched it, and then even after, the ref literally just kind of lays the belts over him and lifts his hand whilst he's lying on the mat. And then, I'm sorry, if I'm ever in a ladder match, never happening.
Is that on the cards?
Never happening.
No.
But the ladder is warped. If I win, I'll tell you what I'm doing to celebrate. I'm certainly not climbing up a fucking broken ladder. That's for damn sure.
Valid point. And as Holly touched upon, to celebrate, Razor climbs the ladder with the title belt in each hand as Earl Hebner stands on the bottom rung with his hands pointed up like he's the world's most formally dressed cheerleader. What did you think of the match, Holly?
My notes say that was epic. It had me hooked from start to finish. I actually was really, really into it. You asked for it. Here's your 5 out of 5.
5 stars.
5 out of 5. It had me like literally from the start till it ended. I was so invested.
Brilliant.
So much so, I had to watch it twice.
You watched the match twice?
Yes. Because I stopped making notes. And I was like, no, I actually want to... Because some of the matches, I watched them, but I'm like, obviously half making notes, half watching. And I was like, hell no, I want to fucking watch this. So, yeah.
Wow, so that's going to be a true sign of a commendation from Holly.
Yeah.
Is if she will watch the match and then go back and watch notes.
Yeah.
I've not done that.
Yeah, because I just thought I was missing out on... Because it was quite fast-paced. Obviously, they have the time, having a little rest. But it was very fast-paced. And I thought, I'm going to miss something decent here. So,
Jamie was right. he said that this would be the 5-star. I thought we might get it with Brett and Owen.
Very close. But
the only reason I said that, because I would have agreed the ladder match, but because Brett and Owen was earlier in the night, I thought that would get it. So Big Dave, 5 stars. Fair. Scott, 5 stars.
Nice. Oh my gosh, we're all in agreement.
We've agreed again.
This time on a 5 rather than a 0.
You watched it twice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, from there, we go backstage with the heels. It'd be great, actually, like when we've done loads of these shows, to just get like your highest rated matches. That would just be fascinating to see the type that's on there. And we finally hit a fight. And it wasn't Jeff Hardy.
No, I know.
That's
Who'd
incredible.
have thought it?
I'm honestly
Who'd have thought
shocked.
it would have been HBK and Razor Ramon? Yeah.
I could be wrong. I might be wrong.
Okay.
I don't think Kurt Angle has any 5-star rated matches by Dave Meltzer.
Really?
I might be wrong.
Okay.
But I feel like I've heard that somewhere, so disagree. We go to the locker rooms where we see IRS talking to the Head Shrinkers, Double J and Rick Martel, and they're all arguing over who should be captain. Captain of what exactly isn't clear.
Okay.
In fact, the most sensible comment is made by Afa, who makes a noise similar to me when I crack my toe off a coffee table. Vince says, well, it doesn't look like we're going to have a 10-man tag team as they can't decide on a captain. Okay, so story. Holly, did you know the show was scheduled to actually feature a 10-man tag?
Well, I obviously didn't have a clue.
Fine. The original booking called for 1-2-3 Kid, the Smoking Guns and Bob Holly to go against the Head Shrinkers, Double J, Rick Martel and IRS. However, due to a very selfish play by Shawn Michaels, who let his match with Razor run long, they had to cancel the match and instead showed it on Raw 2 weeks later. Granted, the ladder match was great, but it really screwed over those 10 guys, a few of whom would have been getting their WrestleMania debuts. Randy Savage tore Shawn a new arsehole when he got backstage after the match was done. So despite how great that match was, they're like, you didn't fucking do what you were told to do.
That couldn't have been shorter though.
No, I agree, it's the perfect length, but it wasn't supposed... So it gives and it takes.
Wow.
And to be fair, I'd rather see that than the 10-man tag.
Yes.
But if you're one of those 10 people, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So I get it. And yeah, Savage went mental. Mental at him. Back to Bill Clinton. We see Ted DiBiase in the presidential box, and he suggests that even old Prez has a price for the $1 Million Man. Willie Clint says he doesn't want to talk politics, and we go to a WrestleMania moment. We're shown the world's largest toga party in Las Vegas, but reminded that the night had a lot of miscarriages of justice, and we see Bret Hart get his eyes seasoned by Mr. Fuji.
Yes.
Have you enjoyed any of the WrestleMania moments that we've seen?
I think it's just because I've watched them recently.
Well, some not so recently.
Yeah, but the ones that aren't so recent, and I want to see again.
Fine.
So, and I think also it's just like, just show me what I want to see. Come on. If I was watching this, not fresh, but like...
Without note-taking in the show.
Exactly, then sure, fine. But no, just... I don't care about what happened in the last WrestleMania. I watched it 2 weeks ago.
They don't know that,
Very selfish, I'm aware.
Bret Hart promo package.
Yes.
We now get shown an homage to Bret Hart's time in the WWF, and mixed in with shots of the family dungeon and his old man. The music being played over this segment seems wildly unfitting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a montage music, which I get, but I have no clue what this should actually be used for. The video package reminds me a lot of the first time I tried video editing some wrestling footage, which is not a compliment.
Okay.
Yokozuna promo package.
Oh, with very contrasting music here.
We now see the ferocious Yokozuna and his time in the WWF with music that is much more befitting. Although, with that being said, we don't see any of the big man's time spent in Japanese sumo dojos, and I can't imagine why. Let that one hang out there. Right, I've just titled this segment Burt Reynolds and 90210 Lady.
Yeah, fair. Jenny Garth.
Don't worry, I've got it. We're now introduced to Burt Reynolds and a lady from 90210 that I honestly couldn't have cared less about looking up. I think they said Jenny Garth.
Yes, that is how I know, because I watched 90210.
There we go.
On reruns, obviously.
I did, but I was too young, so I don't remember it. They get escorted to the ring by Pat Patterson, and Jenny nearly trips over the mat outside the ring. Bert says he's happier than the fans to be there, and given what he was paid, I believe him. Vince says, I don't know about that, on the commentary. Bert has a broken hand or something as he has to pass his prompt cards to the ring announcer as he doesn't have dexterity to do it himself.
Yes.
Bert introduces us to the special guest ref for the match. Rowdy, Rodney, Piper is what it sounds like Bert says, so I'll have to be forgiven for not believing he's a big fan as well.
Yeah.
Very cool entrance and reaction for Hot Rod, who hugs Bert. Probably going, it's not fucking Rodney.
Yeah. He doesn't age at this point.
No.
Like he, as I said on the last time we saw him, he looks younger here than he did back at the start.
That's what cocaine will do for you, I guess. Ironically, Rodney comes out next. Yokozuna, Rodney Anuahi. Yokozuna with Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette versus Bret Hart with a special ref, Roddy Piper, for the WWF title.
Yeah. I did think Roddy would put on some form of gear that would make it obvious he was the ref.
Perfect, took all that gear. He rummaged the bin and cleared it out. He had it all on,
didn't he? But I did think, I mean, I get it, like he looks different to both of them and I obviously know who he is. Contrary to some comments, I do know who some people are.
You won't let that one go, will you?
No, I really won't. But yeah, I was a bit disappointed. There's no like striped shirt or nothing.
I wasn't fussed, to be fair.
I mean,
the reaction for him was unbelievable.
Wasn't it just?
Probably, was it as big as Bret Hart? Do you know what? It'd be up there.
I don't know, because it was massive.
It would be up there. I'm also aware that one, apart from Jim Cornette, this is the exact same match that we had at the WrestleMania 9.
Yes.
Technically co-main event because of Hogan and his shenanigans, that rascal Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
And we'd already seen both of these guys tonight.
Yep.
In your head, you must be like, ugh.
I was a little.
Okay.
But I have to be open-minded.
Right. Once more, we get a lot of low-angle camera shots of Yokozuna, which, granted, are effective as he makes his way to the ring. As Bert introduces Bret, he throws in, and in my opinion, one of the best athletes in all of wrestling, which didn't seem like a written line at all.
No.
The Hitman limps his way to the ring, but thankfully did have enough time to re-grease his hair.
Yes.
As soon as Bret enters the ring, Yoko is standing there with his arms apart and immediately jumps on him with strikes before he is fully in. Piper signals for the bell, and it doesn't go quickly enough, which you can tell irritates Vince, who voiced it as an instruction from commentary, practically going, he signalled to ring the bell! Like, fucking do it.
He's not happy.
No. Yoko continues the assault with a headbutt, but the challenger fires back out the corner until he is dropped with one big blow from the champ. Multiple strikes to Bret lead to a big body slam. Yoko glares at Piper, who admonishes him. Bret again fires back and wobbles the big man with a drop kick, but is swatted aside on the second attempt. Bret again fires back and wobbles the big man with a drop kick, but is swatted aside. No, I've literally just read the same line again, as if it's an entirely different part of the script here. Yoko chokes Hart over the middle rope before taking a mid-match snack on his forehead.
Yep.
Piper and Yoko start to shout at each other, which the crowd begin to stir for. Back rake and second choke over the ropes by the champ.
Boom.
On the other side of the ring, Piper kicks at Cornette to get him to keep his distance, and Corny has a great look of confusion on his face at this. Turns around the crowd, like, what the hell did I do?
Yeah.
Big headbutt drops Hart, but the splash attempt finds an empty pool. Rapid fucking count by the king of cocaine, Hot Rod.
And he is counting loud.
1, 2, 3,
For
4,
all the people
5.
at the back to hear as well, yeah.
You can hear him through the commentary headset.
Really good.
It's impeccable. Bret unloads with rights and a headbutt of his own, but this does more damage to Hart, who falls to his knees. But having said that, Yoko does a great fall on his arse, playing to the fact he was knocked out by Lex earlier in the night.
Yeah.
Yoko looks to slam the face of Bret into the canvas, but it gets blocked and the champ eats it instead, which instinctively makes him happy. Bret limps into the corner, but gets the boot up on Yoko as he slowly closes in.
That to me is dumb, because it's not like he's running, is he? Yeah, it's that Family Guy like trumpet music.
Yeah, it really
and
is.
he ain't running.
No.
So he's walking. Well, I can see you've lifted your shoe. Let me continue to plod into it. Stupid.
More strikes by Hart, but Yoko stops him dead with a big strike of his own. Hitman ducks a clothesline and connects with a running gunt punch before offloading with a series of strikes. Vince on commentary even calls that he is usually the excellence of execution, but now he's just having to land strikes in order to get back into the match. Quite insightful by Vince.
Yeah.
After clubbing Yoko to the canvas, Bret makes a cover, only for Cornette to pull Piper out by the leg.
Not a good idea.
After a big right hand sends Corny flying, he returns to the ring. Fuji checks on Cornette, who is motionless on the floor, by slapping him in the face. So he's drowned a man, he's punished him, and then slaps Cornette.
It's so funny. Oh, God.
Falling headbutt is given a dirty camera angle, showing it missed by some distance, before Yoko chokes Bret in the middle of the ring. Big leg drop by Yoko, who now beckons Hart to get to his feet.
Yeah, oh God, again, this is where I really start to wane, because it's literally just, he stands there as if to go, can you stand up now? And does nothing.
No, he can't go down to get him.
Come on.
The crowd are now chanting, "Let's go, Bret," but the challenger is thrown over the top to the floor. Just before another very quick count by Piper, Bret makes it back into the ring. In the corner, Yoko starts choking Bret before biting his head one more time, still hungry. Big whip sends Hart into the buckles, but the Hitman moves out of the way of a big splash.
And Yoko's actually running.
Yep. Oh, he can do it. He can move quick when he wants to.
Yeah.
Second, have you seen him with the ice cream van? Fuck me.
Stop it.
Second rope Bulldog gets a very close near fall.
Very, very close.
Very close. As does a second rope forearm drop. A series of strikes and a running clothesline takes Yoko down. Just a 2 count again. Second rope leap by Hart is caught by Yoko, who turns it into a monstrous belly to belly, which was actually really good.
Yeah.
Like the flying missionary.
I know what that's called, but for some reason I think it's because I said he jumps into a hug, and then I haven't carried on, so I've just put he jumps into a hug slam.
A hug slam.
So that's what it's going for.
Well, Bailey does it, and she was a hugger. So.
Yeah.
Now the champion looks to put this one to bed as he drags the lifeless body of the Hitman to the corner. From the second rope, Yoko looks for the bonsai drop, but he loses his balance, perhaps as an effect from the earlier knockout he received, and he falls to the canvas hard. With Yoko holding his head, Bret makes the cover, and although the big man's shoulders aren't really flush to the canvas, we get the 1, 2, 3, and we have a new WWF champion.
Yeah.
As soon as the bell sounds, Yoko sits up because he thinks it's lunchtime.
Oh,
Piper
God.
makes a quick exit, and Yokozuna is in a fairly hot pursuit. What?
Sorry, I'm still tickled by he sits up because he thinks it's lunchtime.
Now we see Bret alone in the ring with the title and some fireworks. Vince says that Bret Hart will blast us off into the next decade, or at least until late 1997, where he'll get fucked over in Montreal, but I've read that between the lines. We see a sign in the crowd where the fan has put stringy black hair on, and it is actually a solid effort on that sign.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, which you're not, well done. Now Luger is in the ring, and he eventually shakes Bret's hand and gives him a hug, although kind of shoulder butts him in the chin, if I'm honest. Piper is back out now and raises Hart's hand. Yoko got distracted by what we can assume what
The
he got
catering table.
Catering, yeah, exactly. Burt Reynolds gives him a hug and a cheek pinch,
Yes.
because this is real.
Ugh.
A cast of characters come out as Razor,
Oh.
but Bobby Holly, which I like, Tatanka, 123 Kid, and Randy Savage all come out to congratulate the new champion. Rhonda Shear and Donnie Wahlberg come out for reasons too.
Yeah.
Hey, we get Gorilla.
Yes.
What a happening. Finally, Hart is hoisted on the shoulders of Razor and Lex in a memorable WrestleMania moment. We take a second to look back at the aisle as we see Owen Hart standing there looking on. Randy sits on the ropes inviting Owen in, but he just stares and shakes his head. And that is how WrestleMania 10 ends, Holly.
Yes.
What did you think, right, before we cover the match, what did you think the outcome was going to be for the match? Did you think Yoko was going to walk away again, or did you think...
No, I did actually think Bret would win.
Okay.
I did.
How did you think he would do it?
Who fucking knows, I'll be honest. I didn't have a clue.
You wouldn't guess that?
No, not at all. I don't know how. I just, in my head, I was like, I've seen Yoko win too many times, if you know what I mean. Like, I felt like it was time to...
Twice. Oh, 3 times. Coco Beware, Raw.
Yeah. See?
Fine.
But also, in my head as well, so I've said this so many times, I don't know the ins and outs of the timelines, but I was like, it's got to be time for Bret to win now, surely. It's got to be. So I thought he would win.
This, Cody and Roman?
But I just didn't know how they would do it, really.
How do you think it played out in terms of a score and what you thought of the match?
I wish it could have been better. because I feel like it would be better him winning the belt off a better opponent.
Yeah, agreed.
I scored it 1.75.
Big Dave isn't much higher, 2.25.
Yeah.
I'd say 1.75. I agree with you. There wasn't a lot to it. It was much better than the Lex
Yes.
the Lex Yoko match, but that isn't saying much.
I liked that aftermath.
But
I liked that.
so you got like the kind of formation of the show, except instead of ending up here, it went back down again.
Yeah. I think
So-
also because the ladder was so high.
Pun intended.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The look on her face was genuine surprise there.
Yeah. I think anything potentially could have been a drop down, but because of who it was, I feel like it was such a drop down.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So what, out of 10, as we always do, what would you score this show?
Okay, so here is my reasoning behind this before I give it to you. Owen and Brett, first match, really enjoyed it. Randy and Crush, decent, enjoyed it. The women's match, didn't hate it, like, fine. Ladder match, phenomenal. I really like that ending as well of the
Bret Hart.
really like people coming in. I love that. I think that's nice. Didn't miss Hogan at all, me personally, which we know for me also is a thing because I do love his matches aren't amazing, but I like the theatrics. 8 out of 10.
Is that your highest scoring match?
This is
show?
the highest scoring, and I've put the best WrestleMania I've seen so far. 8 out of 10. Good luck to all other WrestleManias.
I'll tell you what, 11 ain't beating it.
No.
I'll tell you that for free. 11 ain't
Yeah,
touching it.
really, really enjoyed that one.
I think you might enjoy things on 13, but I think 11 and 12 will be a bit difficult for you. 11 because of the quality and 12 because of the length of the main event.
Oh, it's that one.
We're getting near there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
2 people that you really like in it, at least.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
I would say, if I'm scoring this card out of 10, I go 7 to 7.5, so I'm not as high as you on it. It's good. There's 2. I gave 2 5-star matches,
Yeah, you did.
but the rest isn't nearly good enough for me because I didn't rate the Savage Crush match as highly as you did. It's fine.
We know I did because of her. If you take out Savage and put someone else in there,
You didn't care.
I wouldn't have cared.
No, but it's really pleasing to see that you've really enjoyed a
I
WrestleMania.
really did, yeah.
So yeah, you must have been quite buzzing after
I
this.
was.
I thought you had hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see how quickly we can extinguish that.
Yeah.
Before we go into the socials, we've already decided on the next episode as to what that will be.
We have.
And it will be a shorter episode again, but we will put that on the usual socials. And I've just realised that Jamie hasn't put up an advertisement to say what this episode was going to be, although
Shocking.
if people are avidly following, they
They'll
should know it was March
They'll
the Mania's time. But yeah, so we'll be obviously having an episode go out next week. But before we close off, would you mind giving the socials to the listeners, please, Holly?
I'd love to. wintwicepod@gmail.com, and then Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is all Win Twice Pod. Some show suggestions would be a treat.
Yeah. Like I said, we've got some of those cameos lined up, so I've got shows that we need to fit in at some point. So I'll try and work out, because I'm trying to do it era based as well for you, so I'm not doing 2 old shows next to each other, because some of them need old shows.
Okay.
But yeah, I've enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Obviously you have as well.
I did.
Thank you very much everyone for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it as well, and we will see you for the next one. But until then, take care.
Bye.